And now on Who's Views, it's time to join JT, Paul, and Third Doctor Ian for the latest headlines.
TV has made white middle-aged men into toxic villains, says Eccleston. Oh, yes, he does indeed. Hello, Who viewers. Welcome to your big show this Sunday, the 19th of April, 2026. Paul, here we are again.
Evening all.
It's good to see you. Good to see you.
Andrew, it seems like ages again since I last saw you. Yeah.
It does seem like a long while, doesn't it? It does seem like a long while. We've got a really big show coming up for you tonight, Who viewers. Can't wait to hear what you think about all this, because we're going to be talking about a lot of the stories you would have seen this week, and we've got a few other little bits for you as well. But as ever, Paul, before we go anywhere, I'd like to say a huge thank you to everyone that has been getting in touch this week. Okay. Really appreciate it. It's always good to hear from you, whether you're commenting on our shows or whether you're going to get in touch via the email, which, as you know, is whosviews1@gmail.com. Please keep your emails coming and your communications coming. It means the world. Thank you so much. But I'd like to say this week, hello and thank you to Peter Oliver Williams, to Chris Kaz, to Graham Buxton, to Bill Lowry, to Bob James, John Mason, Mark Milford, Stephen Rogerson, Kevin Taylor, Alan Iveson, Mike Bakerfrost, Lex Kane, and Jane Evans. So thank you very much to all of you guys there. And indeed, have you heard? Because yes, Champagne Socialist, Christopher Eccleston, well, he can't keep his mouth shut at the moment now. And I don't know about you lot, but I can't keep up with him. It's this and this and this and this. And it goes from one level to the other level, it seems, Paul. He's all over the shop with things at the moment.
He does tend to contradict himself a little bit, doesn't he? Let's be honest. You know, like you said, Champagne Socialist. He really is. But this thing about, white men being the villain, he's playing a villain in a drama, isn't he?
Yes, that's why he's saying it.
But it's like, well, enjoy the work while you can,
Yeah. We're going to be talking about that later in the show. Also, Peter Capaldi has been practically everywhere as well this week with various interviews for his new projects, but he's been called a natural raconteur.
Well, I did see some of those interviews, and I really started to pine for him as the Doctor. I miss him actually, because he was very good.
Yeah. Let's see if the chat agree with that, Paul. And also, yes, of course, that news that made me laugh this week. Gatwa is a doctor. Yes, we're going to be talking about that because what? Why? We're going to be talking about all that. It's good to see you all in the chat. Nice to see you. Digby Strawbridge, let's have a look. Digby Strawbridge is saying to us, evening JT, evening Paul, evening lovely people in the chat. Has Eccleston had a head swap? That's what I mean. You just can't keep me up. You can't keep up with them. You're just like all over the shop. Hello to Georgia Donald. Hiya. And Crimpling Doubloon, nice to see you in the chat as well. And Domgo is saying to us, let me guess, Chris Eccleston is upset. When is he never?
Yeah.
When is he never? Honestly. Oh, look, Matt Enspiel is saying, hey, you wonderful people. Well, you too. You're a wonderful person as well. Hi, JT and Paul, says Matthew Pounder. Hello, Matthew. Hope you're having a lovely day. And also to you, Margie. Margie75 is saying, hey, JT and Paul and chat. Hello. Good to see you all. Andy's Vinyl. Hi, JT and Paul. Hope you're feeling better today, JT. Hello. Thanks, Andy. I'm on the fence today. My energy is incredibly low, but that's another story for another time. But thank you for asking. I'm going to be saying certain things to doctors this week if I can get the energy.
Talking of doctors, going back to the shooting thing very quickly, he may be a doctor, but he's not the doctor.
He's never going to be the doctor.
Never going to be the doctor. Yeah.
Hello, the Darren Zone. How are you? And our very own Kirsty the Witch is in the chat. With Legion of James as well. Thank you very much, both of you in there, for looking after everybody. Julianne Goodwin's with us saying, evening all, finally this week I can catch a live stream. Good to know, Julianne. Oh, bless you.
Lovely to have you.
Yeah, I love it. That's what we like, isn't it, everybody? When everybody can join us live. What? Says Digital Pollution. I know, Sentinel-1. It's all happening. And Stuart Barham is saying, good evening, ladies and gents. You're all very polite, aren't you? I love it. Count 1970 lives. I will be watching, but it's pizza time. Oh, don't.
Oh.
I've been eating for Scotland all day today. You wouldn't believe it because I'm getting my energy up for the show, but I could do with one of them now. Hello, Robert Payne. It's good to see you. And Domgo is saying to us, the University of Glasgow has officially flushed its reputation down the toilet. Well, its reputation, as far as I'm concerned, Domgo, has been going down the toilet for a few years now. But we are going to be talking more about that in the show. Hello, Bill Harry. How are you? Honorary doctorate, so still not a real doctor. Yeah. Good to see you there. And the Macronon. Hi to you. Hi, folks, he says. Stephen O'Neill is actually saying, Paul, I wish Peter Capaldi was still the Doctor. Hopefully BBC Three will repeat all his episodes on Saturdays this year. Ooh,
that would be nice. Yeah, yeah.
I wouldn't watch them.
I mean, just for him to get a bit more coverage. I mean, yeah, because I think he was ill-treated and a missed opportunity, which is a real shame. Yeah.
Yeah. Pete Harrington's with us. All right, Pete, how are you doing? It's good to see you. And yeah. Is it just a duo tonight, says John Mason? Well, Ian's running late, but he's hopefully going to be with us. Yes, he's been working today. Working. So hopefully we'll be able to get in with us very soon. Hello to Giorgio. Good to see you, my friend. And Julie is, she's starting already, everybody. I think Eccleston is confused because he's basically an old-style socialist who thinks class matters, identity politics confuse him. You might be right there.
Yeah,
you might be right there. So, God, I just think, what are you talking about now? It's getting to the point now where it's all sort of white noise for me, everybody, for all these people that used to be in this show. Do you know what I mean, Paul? Hello, Noel. Nice to see you, Noel. Good to see you. Steve Braddock is saying, "Ooh, he'll never be the Doctor." Yeah, a lot of us will agree with that. And listen, if you're out there and you don't agree with us, it's fine. You're still very welcome to Who's Views. Come and have you say in the chat. Everybody's very friendly, and we all agree to disagree. So don't be worried. If you're a Gatwa and Whittaker fan, you're still welcome here. Still welcome. You're mad, but you're still welcome.
Do you have a psychiatrist? I will say that.
Sea Devil Sushi. Ooh. Ugh. That doesn't sound right at all, does it? But it's good to see. It's good to see you, Sea Devil Sushi. Hello, one and all. This looks like a wonderful place to spend some time. Well, hopefully you'll enjoy yourself if you're new to us, which I think you are. And I love your avatar there. But there's just the idea of a sea devil in a box. And Matt
a little bit string vest to wrap it round, and that'd be it.
That would be great, wouldn't it? Hey, Matt, what are you saying to me? JT, you and me both on the energy front, because of course, Matt. Time to guzzle some multivitamins. Paul was asking me just before the show, Matt. I haven't got any, and maybe I should look into getting some.
You should,
I've been waiting for GPs to sort me out. I'm learning my lesson about not bothering. And Digby, thank you for your super chat. Nice to see that the penny finally dropped for Chris Eccleston. Shame he spent the last 9 years calling the rest of us ists and phobes. Blimey. You're right, Digby. And as I say, we are coming to that story in this particular show. But you are right. But I don't think it's going to stop him doing it, to be quite honest, because he's so hypocritical. Like everybody in the industry, the alleged show business industry. Whatever the current bandwagon is, I reckon.
Yeah, he's just jumped ship, hasn't he? That's all. Yeah.
A Woodhouse 2122. It's all a bit quiet on the Christmas special 2026 news front. No announcement on Thursday, as people were predicting. Oh, I could have told you there wasn't going to be an announcement on Thursday. They're not even properly at work yet, Woodhouse 122. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't even know there was a rumor going around they were going to do that. No, they were probably getting it mixed up with the Friday announcement for character options.
Yeah, I think they were. Yeah,
character options. And that ties me in very nicely, actually. You think this stuff was planned, wouldn't you? But did you see our special Merchandise Paradise show that we did on Friday night, everybody? If you didn't, it's up there on the channel for you. But this is where I got together with Bedouia and George, and we talked about the announcement on Friday of character options' latest action figures. Now, you know about these as well, Paul, don't you?
I do, yes, yeah.
Yeah, it was a very muted show, to be quite honest, because it's a collect and build Yeti. Now, the Yeti we've been wanting for 15 years, maybe more, right? Yeah. And the snag with this one, as we said in the show on Friday, is you have to buy 5 sets of this to collect parts of the Yeti.
Yeah.
And one of the sets is, Paul?
Is the Ncuti Gatwa figure with the Lux character and that Dugadoo rubbish thing.
That's the word I can never remember.
I'm tempted to buy it to get the Yeti, and then I might just put Ncuti in the microwave and see what happens.
Now, the thing with this is we reckon it's about £45 per set. So that's a £225. Yeah, it's £225 investment this year alone. They start coming out in July. For all the full details, go and look at George, Bedweir and myself and you guys in Merchandise Paradise from Friday. But I want to say a huge thank you to Peter Oliver Williams and Peter Oliver Williams' brother, because earlier today they sent me a much improved version with the question, Who viewers, if the sets had looked like this, would you buy them?
Oh, yes.
Exactly. The answer for me as well, Paul, is yes, because as you can see, what Peter Oliver Williams' brother has done there is at the very end, he's taken the Gatwa box set away and he's added Jimmy McCrimmon along with the Wheel in Space Cybermen.
Yes.
Rather than the Matt Smith Cybermen that are there. Now, if that had been the case, Peter, in answer to your question, for myself, I'm going to say absolutely I would have bloody well invested.
I must admit, I'm quite taken with the Wirren. That
looks very gorgeous.
Yeah, really
but
nice.
If the set looked like this, Paul, would you be questioning it?
Not at all. No, basically, we want more classic stuff, not new Who. Give us this. That'd be perfect. So yeah. Right to catch your option immediately and send this picture. To do.
I know. Yeah. But we reckoned in our show on Friday, of course, that they are contractually, and I seem to remember something like this. They contractually got to include a modern day product.
But you probably said on the show, I've not watched it. I'm going to watch it when I get free time tomorrow. But they probably thought, okay, we've got 100 weight of Ncuti figures to get rid of. Let's push them into this to get rid of them, And they probably made too many, thinking it would sell out, and it didn't. Yeah,
that's what I think. I think it's just a repaint. Mark Rees, thank you for your super chat, mate. Gatwa is so conceited that if he was in a restaurant and somebody called for a doctor, he'd stand up. He probably would. Ooh, it's me. High kick. There is. Julianne's saying, I'm not buying a Gatwa even for a gold Yeti. Pete Harrington dug it off. Hayden is saying to us, I'm a completist. So I do have Gatwa and Jodie figures, says Hayden. No, fair enough. Okay. All right. Digital Pollution saying, I can't believe they're still doing the Build-A-Figure thing. Well, it's about, what did I say, 17 years, I think it was, that I talked about on MP the other night, since the last one. And it's because they know that a load of us, including me, a lot of us have wanted that Yeti for years.
Was the last one the giant robot one they did, was it?
Oh, we had a giant robot, we had the Vespa form, we had the Cyber Leader, and somebody reminded us, and I can't remember who, but thank you very much for your comment, that there was a Gelth one as well.
Oh, right. Instantly forget about that one,
I'd forgotten about that, and I've got it upstairs, but thank you for reminding me, whoever that was. Gosh, my memory at the moment. Not with his knees, says Funky, and John Mason saying, nothing could force me to buy a Gatwa figure.
It's Darren interesting. I wonder if he comes with knackered knees. That'd be quite good if it did.
It would be, you can always.
He won't be stand up. You can fall over.
Darren Reed is saying, after watching Merchandise Paradise the other night, I'm glad I've got 3 months to think about it. Yeah, because they start coming out in July.
Start saving up if you're going to buy it.
Yeah. Pete Harrington saying, if there was that range that Peter Oliver Williams and his brother has done, then he would be buying it.
Yeah.
And I would as well, to be honest. I would, and so does Chris Kaz. Chris Kaz said that would be a definite purchase. It's
just for the Wheel and Space Cybermen alone, I'd buy it. Honestly, that'd be fabulous.
They're gorgeous. Andy Digby's actually saying that. Oh yes, please, those Wheel and Space Cybermen. Yeah, they look brilliant, don't they? Julianne is also saying yes, I'd buy those. Steve Braddock, yes, I'd invested 1,000%. Bill Lowry saying to us, I've seen people offering to sell the Gatwa figure as they only want the Yeti part. I pointed out like 99% of the rest of us. Character options need to understand this. And if they, have got their hands tied, I feel for them.
The thing is, how you going to sell your Ncuti Gatwa figure? I don't know anyone want to buy it, to be fair.
No, exactly. Yeah. Legion of James, 100%. I would buy that. And this is exactly what the set should have been. Character really dropped the ball on this announcement. And good Gray's with us. Hello, mate. Bored of Eccleston's constant whinging, even though he's got it right on this occasion. Care even less about Gatwa's exploits, but I love whose views, though. That's what we like. That's what we like to hear, good Gray. So thanks for joining us, and bear with us. I do have a couple of polls coming up for you all. Absolutely. Just for fun. Don't write in. Mark Kundrai, have you had the chance to read up on the supplements list I've emailed? I've only got through a little bit of it, Mark, but thank you. I will get to that probably tomorrow. And Funky saying, Jamie McCrimmon, the only bloke in a skirt we want. You speak for yourself. No, I'm kidding. But yes, thank you, everybody. Matthew Pounder is also saying that Wirren looks fab. Matt, to be quite honest, that's probably the only one I'm going to buy because I've wanted a Wirren for ages. And at £45, we reckon, a go, not a chance. Not a chance. That one's out in November, I think, end of the year anyway. But if you're into all that, everybody, and you haven't seen our show yet, would hello, Terrified Monk, what's he saying to us there? Needs to be 5 different Gatwa sets with his multiple outfits. God,
I wonder. I was going to say, I wonder if the Wirren grub has got a wee man inside it. You can see him moving a bit.
I don't know. That would be fun, though, wouldn't it? Little feet coming up there. Yeah, but if you haven't seen our Merchandise Paradise from Friday, it's up there for you, so you can go and have a look at that when you've got time. Now, Paul, you found on social media this week as well these lovely pictures, which have come from Tenterton, haven't they? Yeah, these are absolutely gorgeous. He just looks so he looks really well, and he just still is the Doctor. You know, talking of the Doctor, this is the Doctor. He looks amazing and completely barking mad as always, and it's such a lovely, warm feeling looking at these photographs. You just feel so pleased he looks so well and having fun doing it. Having fun doing it as well. You can see he's got a lovely twinkle in his eye, and he's having fun. They're really just very cute. But my favourite one's the one on the left, just peeking through the door. That is just so sweet. Lovely. Yeah. Well, in case you didn't see these in the week, everybody, these have come from social media. And this is Tom Baker, of course, the one and only and the legend Tom Baker, who visited Sid's Emporium, which is in Tenterden. Now, Tom seems to like all these sorts of antique places, doesn't he? Because he's had pictures of him in various places with little Daleks and stuff over the last few years. That's right. Yeah. I loved it. I love this police box entrance into the Emporium as well. I think that it's very, very good. I love it. So congratulations to them. But it is great to see him looking so good, isn't it, Who Viewers? He's looking very fine. And, and thank you to Ash White for publishing the pictures on social media. He definitely looks better. The last photograph prior to this, I think, was one he did for season 13, and he did look a bit poorly, but he looks much more healthy in this one. So I'm really pleased. Yeah, he does, doesn't he? Hey, look, a real Doctor, says Terrified Monk. Rory Neal saying Tom looking much better than the last pic I saw of him. Stuart Barham is saying my Doctor. Margie's also saying, oh, beautiful. Tom Baker will always be the Doctor and the best. Thank you for all that, everybody. Season 19, Tom. Matt Enspiel saying Tom Baker, my Doctor. He's looking well, says Sheila B in the devotions. Hello to Raymond Williams. Good to see you, mate. Nice to see you. Steve Braddock is saying, great to see our Tom in such good health, isn't it? He does. He looks happy there. He looks good as him. Rory Neal, Tom looking much better. Oh, I read that one. Sorry. It also looks like he's got a new raincoat as well, which is quite good. It's like you can't beat a good one, can you? You can't. Well, I think he had the same one for ages, I think, and this was like a new one, I think. But yeah, exactly. Kamikaze guy, hello to you. The Wirren grub comes with free Stuart Fell figure. There you go, Paul. Oh, lovely, fantastic. Yeah. Hello, Matt the Silent, who's saying that Tom Baker is the oldest Doctor at 92. He is, and he's still looking fab, as Paul's saying there. Tony Farrell saying, St. Tom of TARDIS. Yeah. But Darren's saying, who caught Tom coming out the loo? The Doctor, the definite article from John the Computer Doctor with his lovely illustration there as well. And Hayden is saying, yes, Tom looks better. He's looked for ages, and it's good to see. It really is, isn't it, everybody? So if you manage to get it, what got me about it as well, Who Viewers, is that the day after, that was on the Tuesday, and on the Wednesday, a Doctor Who fan in cosplay as Tom, with the curly hair and the hat and the scarf and everything, went down to Sid's Emporium as the Doctor. He was in character as the Fourth Doctor, and customers were coming out going, And I just thought, that's brilliant. You're on it there. He must have been fairly
Yeah.
local, but that's brilliant. Well done to him. And he stood at the same doors and went with a sonic
Never
screwdriver.
underestimate Doctor Who fans. That's all I'm saying.
No, we're all very good, isn't it? Tom brings a smile by just being, says Sea Devil Sushi. Doesn't he just?
Yeah.
Doesn't he just? Absolutely. And the PVFS, it's good to see you, lovely. The definite article. Ooh, yeah. You're right. You're absolutely right. Adrian James wants to know, does Tom really like jelly babies? No, he hates them, doesn't he?
He hates them. Yeah. That's why people wonder why when he goes, you want a jelly baby, he's got licorice all sorts instead or whatever, or dolly mixtures or whatever. You know what I mean? So he hated them, didn't he? Yeah.
He did. He absolutely did. Why have we never had the character options? Bessie, says Johnny the Cabbage. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
Could get their money's worth of that, having the Pertwee version and Tom with it, and then McCoy with it. You know what I mean? And Pertwee from the Five Doctors. They've got so many variations they could do with it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So thank you for your chats, everybody. Good to see you. And Lenny wants to know, couldn't you find someone with a 3D printer and have them make you a couple of Yetis? Just make small change in appearance in case of copyright issues. Lenny, the answer to that unofficially is yes. Because if you go online, go online already, people are saying, don't bother if you don't want all that. Just do it here. But we shouldn't really say that. But if you know where to look, you know where to look. And there's already been loads of these things out. I mean, you can see beautiful Wirren and stuff like that. Now, some people's collections of 5-inch action figures are huge because of the 3D printing stuff, which I don't really understand.
I meant to send it to you, I forgot, but I saw a lovely convention of, I think it was two guys dressed as the Third Doctor and the Fourth Doctor, but in the middle, no, it was Third and Second Doctor, and in the middle of the full-size Quark. It looked fantastic. It was really well detailed. Yeah,
I saw earlier today from a convention or something yesterday here in the UK. I didn't pay much attention because I wasn't feeling too good, but somebody dressed up as a Quark and it looked fantastic. And I thought,
I think it's the same one. Yeah, I think we're talking about.
It's the same one. I just thought, why are they coming back suddenly? What's happened? Why is the demand for Quarks suddenly?
But it looked really good. I think it looks slightly metallic looking rather than that kind of.
Oh, it must be the same one then.
Yeah, same one. I think.
Yeah. Stephen Braddock is saying to us, yes, I've got a 3D printed 5-inch. Oh, Stu, you are naughty, but I like you. Very good, very good. And Gray saying to us, born in 71, so Tom is my favourite Doctor. As Al Murray said, being born in the 70s, we've no choice in that. It's the law. Yeah. And Graham Dorsnide, Graham, how are you? Why not buy the Eagle Moss Wirren? Yeah, it's another option.
Yeah. Another option. I did quite like on the Wirren figure that they had. Obviously, it's like it's Sting or whatever it is you see sometimes in the models, but in the actual character option version, it looks like a pair of boots. I think it does.
Yeah, actually, I think it's in that one that Peter sent me. Yeah, you can just see them there, but you can see more details. We do a close up for you on Merchandise Paradise from the other night there. But listen to Peter, Oliver Williams, and your brother. Thank you so much for that. It's genius. And if that had been the actual real thing, the money would be going into the character options account as soon as possible, now, because but it's a hard pass from me actually on that one. Unfortunately, I will wait until in the future they'll bring out some sort of different Yeti in B&M or something.
They'll bring a Yeti out with Troughton and in it with a Troughton TARDIS or something together from Abominable Snowmen with a panel on the wrong side that they did before. Remember that? Yeah,
I do. Right, we're going to move on because there was some news from the BBC this week, everybody, and I don't know if you saw it, but personally, you all know my opinions on the BBC now. Hashtag defund the BBC. I've got no time for them at all. So it was no surprise to me, and I wasn't actually, I'm not that upset about this, which was announced this week from The Independent. The BBC is to cut 2,000 jobs in a major restructure. It is understood staff were informed of the significant redundancies during an all-staff call held on Wednesday afternoon. The BBC is set to cut 2,000 jobs as part of a drive to reduce costs by 10% over the next 3 years, sources have revealed. It is understood staff were informed of the significant redundancies during an all-staff call held on Wednesday afternoon. These cuts mark the largest reduction in BBC headcount in almost 15 years and coincide with former Google executive Matt Britton, who we've covered here on the show before, preparing to take over as Director General next month. The corporation has also recently unveiled plans to drastically downsize the team responsible for covering national occasions such as royal events and state funerals to a single staff member supported by freelancers. The BBC has previously said, over the last 3 years, we have delivered more than £500 million worth of savings, much of which we've been able to reinvest into our output across the BBC. In a rapidly changing media market, we continue to face substantial financial pressures. As a result, we expect to make further savings over the next 3 years of around 10% of our costs. This is about the BBC becoming more productive and prioritising our offer to audiences to ensure we're providing the best value for money, both now and in the future. So this says to me, Paul, and Who viewers, this says to me that firstly, as I'd always thought, the BBC was vastly overpopulated with staff anyway.
Yeah.
And then secondly, what do they make? Because as we've discussed on the show before, everything is now outsourced. So they become a partner with something. Not everything is now made in-house at the BBC. So what were all these people doing? Because they weren't making programs, surely.
No, they're not. I mean, I hate for people to lose their jobs, and that's awful. But a lot of these people tend to be admin staff and stuff like that, and a bit like the NHS or a bit like civil service, they need to kind of narrow it down a bit and find ways of making it more financially viable, which is what they need to do. But the BBC, what they need to do really is actually consider about making better programs. To be fair, you know.
Yeah. And why don't they start, Paul, by axing that? How many? I can't remember how many millions we reported on ages ago here on Headlines that they were spending on a DEI policies.
Yeah.
So that's one way to save the license fee payers money, isn't it? By getting rid of that.
Just do what we said, you know, cast people who are right for the job. You know, give people a job if they're right for the job, the talent to do it. Don't just give someone a job because you're ticking a box. That's completely pointless. And that's why they're in a mess, because they've just been doing that, you know? If people have the talent to do a job, give them the job. That's how it works. You go to an interview, you're qualified to do it, you get the job. That's how it works. It's nothing to do with the way you look, your gender, whatever. It has to be if you have the talent and ability to do a job. Otherwise, you're in trouble.
I would like to know where they're coming through, though, or what these 2,000 people that they're going to be making redundant on very, very shortly as well. Yes, we are sorry about that. We're sorry to hear. But what were they doing? Yeah. And if they can afford to get rid of 2,000 people, why did they hire them anyway?
Yeah.
I would love to know. Surely you don't need 2,000 administrational type jobs in the BBC. I know it's bureaucratic, but surely, I don't know. I'd love to know. So if anybody knows, you can let me know.
Well, the bizarre thing about this is if they had the same people looking after the bloody archives in the first place, it's really funny when you look back and you find out they lost all the episodes of Doctor Who, but they've still got all the paperwork for the bloody episodes. Yeah. Get your priorities right, for God's sake. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, Derek Hart is saying, does that include RTD2 has got? No, it doesn't really. RTD, as we've got to remember, is not employed by the BBC. He's employed by Bad Wolf.
And they keep reminding us,
And they've reminded me several times in communications to me when I've complained about him.
Yeah.
So they just wash their hands of him. They go on about all this thing. Oh, he's the one of the leading writers in the country, blah, 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 blah. And then, but he's nothing to do with us because we don't employ him. He's employed by an independent source. And that's all it is, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
The trouble is the BBC won't make the decision makers redundant, says Tony Farrell. The problem will therefore remain. Exactly. And as I say, Tony, if they started with the DEI lot, first of all, that were costing them however many millions we reported on in one of our shows previously, there's a big saving straight away. But I bet you that stuff stays.
Well, the past master are wasting money, aren't they? Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. Just cut wages for people like Winkleman, etc., instead of sacking the little people, says Mark Greaves. That's the point. And that's why people like Evans and Norton left the BBC, wasn't it? Because they were going to have to disclose how much money they were on, and they both went over to Virgin. That's one of the many.
The thing about it is, though, because to be fair, you can't really judge like a celebrity on a normal job. I don't mean that to be patronising in any way, shape, or form, but because they have a bankability, people want to watch them, that's where they get more money. You know what I mean? And I think it is unfair because some of the salaries are ridiculously extravagant. I agree with that. But people are gauged on not necessarily their talent, but their bankability as a celebrity. So if Graham Norton's getting 10 million viewers for his chat show, that's why he gets that kind of money. You know what I mean? So it's that's how it works.
Yeah, that's a bad example for me though, because he's been doing the same chat show for 50 years or
Forever.
something.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous. It's so boring.
Yeah.
It was novel at the time, wasn't it? But it's so boring now. What does Manchester BBC do? Says Pete Harrington. I have no idea. I've no idea. I was there when they were building Media City over at Salford Quays. I lived just up the road, and I was going down for walks on the odd evening, especially in the summer, and looking at what they were doing and how I basically saw it built. And I was shocked, Paul, to learn that they were closing down and selling off the donut, BBC Television Centre in London, which the BBC owned outright in prime land, West London land, right?
Yeah, real estate,
Yeah. And then places like Glasgow and especially Salford Quays were rented.
Yeah.
And it's the license fee I don't understand the logic. Why would you sell something you owned outright for decades that was iconic?
Yeah.
Again, it's an agenda. Oh, you've got to have more regional stuff, blah,
That
blah,
was
blah.
it. Yeah.
But we were doing that anyway.
Yeah.
It was happening anyway. So
you don't need another building and waste the money to do that. That's the thing.
No.
It's just crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's about the hospital thing. When the government builds a hospital and rents it out, pays it up like a mortgage. So why don't you pay for it with taxpayers' money? You do it properly and not have to pay for it twice, because that's what they do, or pay for it 4 times over. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Exactly. Raymond saying to us, the BBC should go back to 2 channels, BBC One and BBC Two, get rid of Houses Under the Hammer, Bargain Hunt, and put Watch with Mother back on. I'd watch it.
We'd have nothing to show if they took that off, because that's on a loop.
I know it is. And of course, reality television is so lazy and cheap.
Yeah.
And also, one of the big mistakes for me, Raymond, I agree with you, is that they took Children's BBC off and gave it its own channel. Ridiculous. They should have kept it on BBC One. That was what it was supposed to do, the BBC. They've lost all. Mind you, Rory Neal saying to us, Balamori, which has just come back now, children's television show for those of you outside the UK, has now gone down the LGBTQ+ route. Well, that's shocking. That is disgraceful.
Quelle surprise.
Exactly. And it shouldn't be there in kids' television at all. Funky is saying to us, imagine if the BBC had kept most production at the old building instead of pushing everything around the UK. Exactly. And as I say, Funks, that building was bought and paid for decades ago. And now they're renting places across the UK, costing the license fee payer more money. And now they're looking at cost-cutting big style. They should have stayed in the donut in London.
Who uses it now? Because ITV like this morning use it, and don't they? And Good Morning Britain and that kind of nonsense.
Yeah,
they use it as a studio still, don't they, for their shows?
Yeah,
do they rent it from the BBC or do they own it now? I don't know.
I would imagine they rent it from the BBC.
Yeah,
because they kept some of the studios, didn't they, and sold the main building, which are now all
the flats.
Very swish, very swish and very expensive flats. To say that, a mate of mine went with his husband. No,
how much?
Yeah, exactly. They wanted to be in the iconic building. They thought that's part of the draw, isn't it? But when they saw how much it was going to be, they suddenly got a headache and had to leave.
My bus. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, I don't like the carpet. Ciao. Quite right, Paul, and quite right, JT says Digby. The Beeb need to return to making entertainment. They have no idea what entertainment is anymore, do they? Yeah. Not a clue. But yeah, so anyway, we've got all that, everybody. I've got no sympathy for them at all. Stuart Barham, Saturday night's BBC One was nearly all repeats, awful. Same as ITV now. My sister was telling me about this, that Saturday nights now, which were the big, they don't care anymore. They just show repeats.
There's nothing on.
And no wonder people are going and binge watching the new series of Bird Rat, which is fabulous, by the way. All in one. I'm not. I'm doing it weekly as the old-fashioned way. But apparently a lot of people binge watch Toby Whithouse's brand new series 2 of Bird Rat this weekend. Apparently it was just bang, so much in demand. I know. Wasted the BBC, says Matthew Pounder. The shock, the horror. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Who'd have thunk it? Yeah.
Tony's saying to us, Paul, that the 3 largest studios are still there in TV Centre, but the BBC now rent them back. Oh, God.
it's like they've no idea. It costs more money to do that than it would if you kept the premises, you silly buggers. What you like? Yeah.
This stupidity in the utmost, isn't it? It's absolute stupidity. Thanks for that, Tony. I'm shocked by that. And well, actually, I'm not, because they are stupid. Stupid people. But anyway, yeah, so that's some news for you there, everybody, from the BBC this week. There was some other news from the BBC this week, which I'm not sure if any of you would have seen, but thank you to a lot of people that got in touch with me with this, including Jane Evans, because the BBC did announce a new television show, everybody. Oh, yes. And guess who they're going to be aiming it at? Us. BBC announces a new sci-fi thriller, Sutherland. Guga Mbatha-Raw from The Fish Thing, Stuart Martin and Ian de Castecker lead the cast. This is from the BBC Media Centre. The BBC has announced Sutherland, an original new sci-fi thriller set in Scotland and space, made by World Productions Scotland, Vigil, part of ITV Studios, and written and created by James Smythe for BBC iPlayer, BBC One, and BBC Scotland. The 6-part drama will star Guga Mbatha-Raw, who, look at the credits there, fused Loki the Girl Before, nothing about The Fish Thing, Stuart Martin, and Ian de Castecker. Sutherland, the far north of Scotland, the near future. Mirren, who's Mbatha-Raw, works at Paravel Space Hub as flight director for the UK's first crew mission to the stars. Everything is going to plan when, just hours after launch, a series of unexplained events engulf Sutherland in mystery and risks, destroying everything Mirren's been striving for. As a decades-old conspiracy begins to resurface, local detective Logan, played by Martin, is unexpectedly pulled back into Mirren's orbit. When Logan's investigation and Mirren's mission threaten to unravel, the pair join forces to make an extraordinary discovery that will change their lives forever. ... James Smythe, who's the writer, says Sutherland is at heart a love story, a story of loss, a story of discovery, and a story that speaks to our collective desire to understand more about both what's far above us and what's right at our feet. To be making a show for the BBC is a lifelong dream. To be doing it with the amazing team at World Productions, with this unfathomably good cast and our wonderful directors, is incredible to me. I can't wait for audiences to see what we've come up with. Jake Lushington, who's the executive producer for World Productions, says World Productions are delighted to be bringing James's resonant and provocative story of love, loss and life in space and the far north of Scotland to the BBC. At a time when many question the expense and need for space travel, and with so many problems on our own planet, Sutherland's asked the timely question, are the answers out there, or have they been right here all along? Gaynor Holmes, who's the commissioning editor for the BBC, says, Sutherland is a show like no other, and we're so excited to bring James Smythe's thrilling vision of space and Scottish Highlands to the BBC. We can't wait for everyone to get to know Mirren, Logan and Callum, played by the brilliant Gugu, Stuart and Ian, and their story leads them into unexpected directions that will captivate what's left of BBC viewers. I added a bit there. Louise Thornton, head of commissioning for BBC Scotland, says, it's wonderful to work with World Productions once again on this thrilling new drama, Sutherland. James has created a mysterious and mesmerising story which will have audiences captivated and shine a new light on Scotland, all brought to life by our impressive cast. Sutherland is part of a growing list of BBC dramas from Scotland. Yeah, you can read that for yourself there, because that's just propaganda. And then it says Sutherland is produced by World Productions in association with ITV Studios, who will distribute the series internationally. The series was commissioned by Lindsay Salt, who we've mentioned on Who's Views before. She's the director of BBC Drama, and Louise Thornton, the head of commissioning for BBC Scotland. It's written by James Smythe, Laura Grace, Tom Mayer, and Helen Kingston, and directed by Chloe Wicks and Patrick Harkins. The producer is Claire Kerr. The executive producers are Jake Lushington, Simon Heath, and George Azza-Selinger for World Productions Scotland, Gaynor Holmes for the BBC, Gavin Smith for BBC Scotland, and James Smythe. The series is supported by Screen Scotland. It's a headache, isn't it, these days? Filming on the series will take place in Scotland later this year, and further casting will be announced in due course. Sutherland will air on BBC iPlayer, BBC One, and BBC Scotland.
It sounds like Lindsay Salt's given up on Doctor Who, doesn't it, really? It's, we'll do this instead. Let's do this instead. And it's a bit like, oh my God, it sounds worse than the fishy thing, to be honest. But it's fishy thing in space this time round.
Fishy thing in space.
But it's reminiscent to remember when Doctor Who was cancelled in the 80s and they started bringing other sci-fi things in to replace it, like Crime Traveller, that kind of thing. You know, it feels a bit like that, doesn't it? To be honest.
It does a wee bit. I mean, I know this. Yeah. I know these TV shows that you tell me about, like Crime Traveller. But I'm going to say I didn't watch television in the 90s because I was too busy working and going out clubbing and to the pubs and chasing boys. So I never saw these things. So you know, I know it had the fella from EastEnders in.
I quite liked it. It wasn't brilliant, but I got it on a DVD after the event, years after. I hadn't seen it live, and I actually quite liked it. It was quite fun, you know. But
fair enough.
It's kind of, but that feels like that kind of thing. We're not doing Doctor Who anymore, so we're going to do something else now and try and put money into that and create another series and forget Doctor Who and put Doctor Who in the bin. Basically, I think
it's possible. Notice that BBC Studios are not involved with this. It's ITV Studios for the BBC, so it's the other way around now. But it's still a sci-fi show. And I was thinking, everybody, when this thing comes along, let's review it. Let's have a look at it, shall we? Let's have a look at this thing that's called Sutherland. I imagine it's going to be late next year. Stay with us here on Who's Views. Let's have a look at it, because if the BBC are going to do sci-fi, they don't do it particularly well. Let's face it. The only one I really liked was The Nightmare Man with Celia Imrie. From all those years ago, which was another Scottish one, Paul, remember?
It was, directed by Douglas Camfield. Fantastic stuff,
That's why it was good, though, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Because he had a hand on the direction and everything, and a lovely script. It's going to be interesting.
By Robert Holmes as well, yes.
By Bob Holmes, maybe we should look at that one day as well, The Nightmare Man. I haven't watched it in a decade, maybe.
It's quite scary, I have to say, as far as I remember,
I seem to remember that as well.
Yeah.
Legion of James, will it be original, though, or more likely just more cut-and-paste rehashed narratives with mediocre acting and ridiculously bad scripts? We shall see, or maybe not. We will see, won't we? We will see. Domgo is saying to us, Paul, I don't know what's more dead, outer space or the north of Scotland. Much the same, actually. Much the same. You get lovely lights these days. Well, hello, Marine Boy. How are you, love? Sutherland sounds god-awful. Simple. Well, we'll soon find out next year by the look of it. And Robert Payne saying, I guess the message, copyright critical drinker, will be that the answers are inside us and on Earth after all. Yawn. Get that impression already, don't you, Robert?
Well, as long as they don't ruin the clangers, I'll be happy. That's fine.
A show like no other, quotes Funky by saying equals same old slop. And Johnny the Cabbage is ever straight to the point with sounds shite. Move on. Dalek Shalom, BBC Scotland are as bad as BBC Simru, politically degenerate, allegedly. Thank you for that, my friend. Yeah. Oh dear, not Lindsay Salt again. Read Robert Payne, you're very naughty. Steve Braddock saying, ooh, space in the Highlands, take the high road, quite literally then. And Matt Enspiel, oh, I can't wait to miss this.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And Sea Devil Sushi, in space, no one can hear you say, oh, hi, the new.
There's a cliche for you, yeah.
It's a cliche. Pete Harrington, though, Paul, is saying fog in the Highlands would be nice and atmospheric, but I doubt if anyone will write it as part of a story. I can't see it happening like that, to be honest, mate. No, I can't, Pete, because it sounds like some sort of NASA-type setup, doesn't it, rather than the mysteriousness of the Highlands. Crippling to Bloom. Is Sutherland about aliens turning the human race into meat paste? Watch the skies, watch the sandwiches. They love their sandwiches up there, though, to be honest.
They do, yes, I can vouch for that,
Marie UK saying, I know none of these people. Well, you would have heard us talk about Lindsay Salt. But as Paul's saying there, it's quite interesting that here's another sci-fi show coming for 2027 when Doctor Who is not in any way, shape or form on any sort of priority for 2027.
Because although they're doing it with ITV, they're probably funding quite a bit of it themselves, aren't they? They'll be putting money into it. And if it's a joint production kind of thing, they will be funding it, won't they? So
Exactly. Thank you for your super chat, Mark Greaves. The discovery is that Gugu has a pork sausage. Oh my God. That's shocking, isn't it? That's outrageous.
Another ticking your box there, no pun intended. Yeah.
Exactly. Seagull, it's good to see you, my friend. One episode of Crime Traveller had a police box in it briefly, so I've been told.
That's right. Yeah.
In fact, it was Paul that told me, because I've never seen the thing. I wish I could remember the name of the guy that from EastEnders that went into it. What was his name, chat? Come on. It's in my head.
Something French, wasn't it?
Something French. That was a club in London.
No, something French.
Oh, French. Michael.
Michael French. That's it. Yeah.
Well, am I right? Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Little grey cells coming back there for a brief second. It won't last. Kev Gresham, good to see. Oh, cheers, Kev, because I've got mine here as well. Excuse me, Sam. I'm on the Guinness for the iron, everybody. But cheers, Kev.
That's what he says. That's what he says.
It's no alcohol one as well, like Kev's got.
Of course, yeah. Fair enough.
I'm still loving the fact that there are good actors out there. I caught this today, that Bergerac was being interviewed today on Channel 4. My partner only just discovered that he was Irish. The actor who's playing the new Bergerac would have made a superb Doctor Who. That's all I'm saying. Again, we were robbed. And I'm going to say it again, Toby Whithouse, huge second series, smash hit already. We was robbed. He should have been doing Doctor Who. We'll never get him now. We'll never get him. Hello, Rocking Terry Lee. Good Night, Sweetheart, and Red Dwarf, Crime Traveller.
Yeah.
Good Night, Sweetheart, actually, is one of those things, Rocking Terry Lee, that I've discovered recently because it's repeated on the repeat channels, Paul. And again, it was one of those series I never knew with Nicholas Lyndhurst. I was aware it was around, but never watched. And I watched 3 episodes back to back. It was very good. It was like a comedy drama.
It is. There's one episode I really like. I'm digressing slightly here, but I'm going to digress anyway. There's an episode where he goes into a bank, and they have characters very much like Captain Mannering and Sergeant Wilson in the bank, and it's played. Captain Mannering's played by Alex Linstead, who plays Jericho in Robot and Stengos in the Revelation, and he's in the Demons as well as Osgood, and it's brilliant. His impersonation of Arthur Lowe is superb. It's very funny, and it's worth looking out for.
Yeah. Oh, thank you very much. I will do that then. Thank you. Julianne is saying Scotland in peak mid-season. It's a hard pass. They haven't thought about that, Paul, have they?
Yeah. Mid-year season. Yeah.
The filming at that time of year. Oh, the actors are not going to have a nice time. And Sheila being the devotion to saying North Scotland is like space. It's dark most of the time. Yeah, we're famous in certain parts of Scotland, including my area of Scotland, for the dark skies, where you can literally see everything, including over the last couple of years, the Aurora Borealis, which is very concerning. Right over the house. So, well, this isn't right. This is really not right. But dark skies in Scotland. People come from all over the world, don't they, Paul, for our dark skies?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's just fantastic, though. And Kerry Avon, good to see you, mate. I wonder how long this would last. As I remember in 1998, a Scottish BBC production was made for only one series called Invasion Earth that finished on a cliffhanger. Now, I remember that vaguely. I watched the first 2 episodes and I couldn't get into it, so I went off to the pub.
Yeah, I did the same. Yeah,
I thought it was terrible. That's the reason it didn't go again, Kerry, even because in those days they looked at ratings and thought, no, we're not spending money on it.
And they don't realize that because even something like as successful as Only Fools and Horses, they did their first series and people didn't like it. I love the first series of Only Fools and Horses. It was brilliant. And Grandad was superb. But if it wasn't for the fact that BBC kept things going, it would have been killed after one series, which is really stupid, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true. Rick Storm, hello to you, mate. Says online that ITV Studios are making Sutherland. So are they making it for the BBC? Yes, as we read out in that article there. They're making it with an independent company called World. And they're making it it was commissioned by the BBC. It was commissioned by Lindsay Salt. She's commissioned it. But the partnership has come from ITV Studios and this World International. They're going to get together to produce it and put the money into it. And then the BBC will screen it. There we go. There we go. That's what's happening there. So there you go, everybody. So a new science fiction show on the way. And they are going to be aiming it at us.
Yeah.
Good
luck with that, BBC. Yeah.
The way they've been treating us. I don't know. Yeah. This is interesting from Space Peninsula. How are you, mate? You okay? Toby Whithouse actually backed Damien Maloney, who's playing Bergerac, for the 13th Doctor way back when. Did he? No surprises when he nabbed him for Bergerac. What could have been? Yeah. Oh, I'm going again having watched the first series of Bergerac and just loving it, and having watched the first episode of series 2 and loving it. What we could have had with Toby Whithouse and Damon Maloney.
That's a shame because that would have been instead of Jodie, which would have been nice.
Yeah. And it shows that he would have continued the Doctor as a male and not because he's not that fussed, I don't think, with all this DEI nonsense. He just wants good telly.
Yeah.
Yokai 63. I loved Invasion Earth. Well, good for you, lovely. It was almost like an updated Quatermass, but it's terribly underrated. Yeah. I'm probably doing it a disservice, Yokai 63, when I was in my late 20s. I was more focused with going out. have to say. But I did try to watch the first two. Wasn't for me. So I went out. Disco dancing. That's when I went. Idiot Proof Dalek, it's good to see you. Toby Whithouse is actually talented. That's probably why he didn't get the job on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because he is, isn't he? Absolutely. I mean,
did Toby Whithouse just remind me direct a school reunion with Liz Sladen?
Yep.
Didn't he? Yeah.
I'm
sure there are many other episodes. Yeah.
He did a couple of things, but didn't go back to Doctor Who as often as certain other people.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. But anyway, yes, so there you go, everyone. There is a new science fiction series that's been commissioned from and for the BBC on its way, probably for late next year. We'll keep an eye on it. And we
in the Doctor Who slot as well, probably as well. Yeah.
I get the feeling it might be a little bit more mature, so we'll see. It might be more trustworthy.
Maybe, yeah. Oh, God, we need more of that, don't we? Yeah.
We'll soon find out, everybody.
Yeah.
We will soon find out. So stay with us, please, on all of that. Right. Okay. So we're going to get to this story. But before we do that, we were laughing at Who's Views this week because you've seen it, but it seems to be done the rounds again. And it was slightly updated, I believe, with this from social media that says the 11th best Doctor Who stories of all time.
Yeah.
And number 1 is Genesis of the Daleks. At number 2, 73 Yards. Number 3 is Blink. Number 4, The Mind of Evil. Number 5, The War Games. Number 6, Remembrance of the Daleks. Number 7, Dot and Ethel. Dot and Ethel, everyone. Yeah. Number 8, Vincent and the Doctor. Number 9 is Kinder. Number 10 was Dalek. And 11 was the Dalek Invasion of Earth. The 11 best Doctor Who stories of all time. Where's the Caves of Androzani?
Exactly. And you notice, though, you probably don't remember this, but the 2 episodes that are mentioned there that are Ncuti's episodes were the ones he wasn't hardly in.
Oh, that's a good point, isn't it? The only reason the Dot and Ethel thing is there is because it was about the White Lantern.
Yeah.
I mean, look at this, Who viewers. This is truly pathetic. Who voted for this?
Yeah.
You know, there are. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the Gatwa thing should never be anywhere near the 11th best Doctor Who stories of all time because they just weren't, especially when it's Dot and Ethel over the Caves of Androzani.
Well, I don't think any episodes of Ncuti Gatwa were particularly good, but I think compared to those 2, I'm sure there were better ones than those 2 to put on any list, regardless of top 10, because those 2 episodes, he's not in it. So, I mean, it's hardly a Doctor Who episode, is it? I mean, 73 Yards is quite fun, quite some of that, but it's actually, he's not in it.
Exactly.
That tells you a lot because he's not in it, don't you think?
I think it tells you an awful lot about it. Rory Neal has said to us, no way that is made up. John Mason is saying, what a load of nonsense. And Woodhouse122, that list, total bullshit. I'll tell you somebody else that'd be interested in talking about that list. It's Third Doctor Ian. Hello there. How are you?
Hello.
Well,
what time did you call us?
I slept in. What can I say?
You slept in. Okay, right. Yeah.
We're just talking
Third
Doctor Ian, about that graphic that we laughed at in our chat this week, which was this. The 11th best Doctor Who stories of all time, which includes at number 2, 73 Yards, and number 7, Dot and Ethel. So, what do you think?
It's all bollocks, isn't it? Really. I mean, there's absolutely nothing that, when you consider what you've got in the first 26 years, there's absolutely nothing, certainly from Whittaker and Gatwa, that would even get in a top 50 or 80 than a top 10 or 11. So, and there's a few, maybe, Satan Pit was good. Rob Shearman's Dalek was good, but nothing like that. No. There's way too much real quality in the original series to give much space to this lot anyway, and certainly none of Gatwa.
Where's Inferno on that list as well, for God's sake?
Exactly, Spearhead from space.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just,
can you show the list again, JT? Can you show the list again? Can you show the list again?
It's a crimpling to balloon there. Look at that. He was saying, where's Meglos? Now, listen, you might joke about Meglos, but I've watched it recently for no reasons at all, preparing the list of what's coming up. But, it's a case of,
I review Meglos,
you might think that. I couldn't possibly comment. But, I enjoyed it. And again, it's simply because it's far better than any of the crap we've been served up over the last couple of years. Can I just say hello to Martin McNeef as well? Hello, Martin. Nice to see you. Welcome to Who's News. Empty Child and the Doctor Dances might be my favorite. Not there.
Yeah.
Not there. I mean, come on. You're right, Martin. They are good episodes. Here's the list again for you. Genesis of the Daleks at number 1, 73 Yards at number 2, Blink at 3, number 4, It's Mind of Evil with 5, The War Games, Remembrance of the Daleks at 6, Dot and Ethel at 7, Vincent and the Doctor at 8, Kinder at 9, 10 is Dalek, and then 11, The Dalek Invasion of the Earth.
I mean, I don't know why top 11 anyway, but where's Caves of Androzani? Where's Spearhead from Space? Where's Robots of Death? Where's Ark in Space?
Yeah.
You know, where's Deadly
Where's
Assassin?
Horrifying Rock? Yeah.
And the chat are agreeing with you. Mark Greaves is saying Earthshock.
Yeah.
Reborn, Itsy Bitsy. I used to love Itsy Bitsy.
Seeds of Doom. Seeds of Doom.
Yeah.
Brain of Morbid, Reborn.
Many.
Logopolis. Everybody's having a go there. It is. How can it be top 11 with only 6 stories, says Digital Pollution. Craig Dunlop, is it the colorized War Games that makes the list? Oh, God, it wouldn't surprise me because God knows who they went to vote for.
Yeah.
Graham Buxton's with us. Hope you're having a great day, Graham. Just heard that list. It's ridiculous. Yeah. Paul Richards saying Dot and Bubble with the Doctor crying in surprise that some people are prejudiced after all he's experienced in his lifetimes. Yeah. You're right. Yeah. I mean, it was an awful bloody episode. Awful. Who voted on these stories, says Legion of James? I mean, the selection is absolutely nonsensical. And Sir Sydney Rough Diamond. Yes, we've got royalty joining us this evening. I can't take that poll seriously. Neither can we, but it's a laugh, isn't it? It's just a laugh.
Where did it come from originally? What article was it?
I want to say Screen Rant.
All right. Okay. Really? Good.
But I might be wrong on that. I'm sorry.
Right.
But I want to say that. But I could be wrong. But we'll give them the credit for it anyway. Julianne Goodwin is saying, my shopping list has better episodes of Doctor Who on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just something food for thought, isn't it, everyone? I mean, how come... Yeah, John Roberts, the Twin Dilemma was better than that, Dot and Ethel. Totally.
Yeah. Time Flight's better than that, honestly. Yeah.
Time Lash as well. Sorry, Phil. Is better than that.
Yeah, that's... Oh, yeah. Hey.
Let's not get carried away.
I've even said Dimensions in Time with Cameron just to get it on the list.
Yeah.
Are they ill, says Pete Harrington. There's a lot of people also giving their episodes here as well, and they all tend
I'm sure you'd favour Dimensions in Time on this list as well if it was to replace a Gatwa episode, surely. That's a no then, is it okay?
Yeah, go on. I would. Okay. And actually, Woodhouse 122 is saying that Dimensions in Time is better than 73 Yards and Dot and Bubble. To be honest, I get that because having rewatched it recently for something we've got coming up, I actually, enjoyed it. And again, I think it's because I haven't bought into the Gatwa crap.
Yeah.
Because it was just very bad television.
It's bloody silly, but it's fun. Yeah.
I would even include In a Fix with Sontarans, regardless of the fact that it has Jimmy Savile in it. You know what I mean? It's just like, you can close your eyes while he's on and everything else, but even that is better.
On the Blu-ray set, they re-edited it, didn't they? They put a more of an actual story to it, with the titles and all that kind of stuff, and took him out of it completely, which they had to do, obviously. But it works quite well as a wee adventure without him, which is good.
Exactly. A lot of you saying that Idiot-Proof Dalek saying this has to be a joke. Ezra Goldstein is with us saying, what about the Horns of Nymon? Classic now compared to what I've been watching over the last couple of years. I've never really liked it. Yeah, exactly. I mean, anyway, that was a bit of fun for you, everybody, tonight here on your big show. A bit of fun there. Problem Being's with us. Hello there, PB. How are you? The person who put that list together is no fan of Doctor Who, that's for sure. Probably never has even watched the full War Games. Yeah. You're absolutely right. Yeah. And PTA
stamina.
I remember this actually from the time, PTA. You were saying you liked 73 Yards. A lot of people did. It didn't come off badly from our review. I seem to remember we were sort of like, oh, this is okay, but it was
still better than some of the crap. Yeah.
And of course he wasn't in it, so that was that helped.
It was a big plus. It was a big plus. Yeah.
It was a big plus. So thank you for that, everyone. Yeah, gosh, there we go. Bit of fun for you on the show tonight. Hang on a sec. Mark Greaves has just given us a super chat. Let me find that. Thank you for that, Mark. Very good of you. So how can some of the lowest watched episodes of all time be on the list of the best? Nobody bloody watched them. Oh,
yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah.
They've gone to a certain element of fandom, haven't they?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been done through some website or something that we wouldn't, that we wouldn't look at.
It does seem slightly random. It's like it's done by AI, isn't it? Almost. Yeah.
Well, even AI won't watch the Gatwa era.
Yeah. Even they've got taste. Yeah.
Yeah, it does. It is. It's true. Stephen O'Neill saying, "What about Time Flight? A masterpiece now compared to the Whittaker and Gatwa era." Strange you should mention that. Stay tuned. Stay tuned. Right, I've got a week. What was I talking about there? What we were talking about? Yeah, we were talking about that whole the Gatwa thing when we were in the era there. So let's just stay with Mr. Gatwa, shall we?
Okay, if we must.
If we must. If we must. Because this is quite funny. And this is this story for you, everybody. Of course, the Doctor Who star Ncuti Gatwa is to receive an honorary doctorate. This was announced this week. It's it's ridiculous. But it's the subject of one of tonight's polls for you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let's start this for you now. I'm asking you this evening, is Gatwa's honorary doctorate a result of DEI? You can vote 1, yes, of course it is. 2, no, he earned it. The poll is open for you now. Go for it. You know what to do. 1 for yes, or 2, no, he earned it. While we look at the story. Oh, it's going. I love it. Oh, steady on, Paul. You're all right.
I'm fine. I'm just laughing at the result already. That's incredible. Yeah.
This is from the BBC here. Doctor Who star Ncuti Gatwa and Belle Sebastian singer Stuart Murdoch are to receive honorary doctorates from the University of Glasgow later this year. We've got here as well that other recipients being given the honour, which will be awarded at a ceremony in June, will include BBC journalist Sarah Smith and her younger sister, the Advocate General for Scotland, Baroness Catherine Smith. The university said they have been selected for having, and I quote, a profound and positive impact within their professions and wider society. Honorary degrees will also be conferred at the university's summer and winter graduation ceremonies, with recipients including musicians Deacon Blue and Eddie Reader. The first honorary degrees will be awarded at a special commemoration day on Wednesday, the 17th of June, and will mark the 575th anniversary of the university's foundation in 1451. And then it goes on to say about Ncuti Gatwa, now forever always linked with our beloved Time Lord. Professor Andy Schofield, the principal and vice-chancellor at the university, said Commemoration Day would allow the university to reflect on our remarkable history. He added, honorary degrees give us the opportunity to recognise individuals whose achievements have had a profound and positive impact within their professions and wider society. Their work embodies values that continue to inspire our community. I am delighted to welcome our honorary graduates into the University of Glasgow community at such a significant milestone and to celebrate them alongside our graduating students. Now, I remember, gentlemen, when at Glasgow University and all the other universities across our beautiful land, where you had to actually bloody work to get your degree. And it was hard work, Paul.
What did Ncuti Gatwa do that was profound? I can't think of anything.
He gave the entertainment world a new and incredibly accurate definition of failure.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, if that's a level of achievement, that's good to be giving them an award for failure. That's just typical, isn't it? Yeah.
Absolutely.
I just think this is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I don't. What are they playing at? You know,
it undermines people that do actually work and get degrees, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. What's he done? Pranced about high kicking on a stage. And this is why I'm asking you in the chat, is Gatwa's honorary doctorate a result of DEI? 1, yes, of course it is. Or 2, no, he's earned it. You've got the 2 options. You can vote now. Because I can't think of any other reason why. You know, because all we got was always the first black Doctor Who, always the first clean Doctor Who. Yeah. And I just think all these overzealous DEI-obsessed HR departments, which are now even in the universities of our beloved country, and they are so far left, it's unreal. In fact, I think they dish out the bloody tea cozies now and the tea cloths now. as soon as the kids get in there. But I'm just thinking it's absolutely ridiculous. Honest God.
They should, if they're going to give to anyone, they should have given Peter Capaldi, really, to be honest. You know what I mean? Because at least he was a good doctor, and he is Scottish as well, so it's like, why not? It's like...
Yeah, exactly. Fan01ish, hello to you. Are they giving doctorates in sobbing now? Maybe that's it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what it got it for. You could be right there. Fan01. Honorary doctorate for what, says Legion of James? Encouraging an entire fan base to take up gardening. They will look. They will look at only the things that suit them, though, won't they? They won't look at the nasty things he has said. They never do, these people. They won't look at the bigger picture, will they? And that makes me annoyed as well, because I personally don't think at all that he has earned this. And I don't actually think I agree with honorary doctorates anyway, for the fact that everybody else has spent 3, 4, 5, 7, 8 years in there studying hard, giving up a huge amount of time in their life, a lot of them going into debt for it as well. And then suddenly these alleged entertainers turn up with their bloody gowns and their hats and go, oh, look at me, I got it for nothing. Oh, please. It really...
The thing about it is, though, it's probably not worth the paper it's printed on. He can't go into a job and go, I've got an honorary degree, can I do that job? Because he can't really do it, to be fair. It's just like...
He can still use it as an honorary
toilet paper, to be honest. Yeah.
But you can still say he's got an honorary doctorate from Glasgow.
Yeah, he can, I suppose. Yeah, but it doesn't mean anything, does it? Let's be honest.
I just think it's...
No, I don't know what important people would convey on it, to be quite honest. I mean, if you're going for a job or whatever, and he says that, it means nothing. It changes nothing. It doesn't mean he's more skilled in anything. No. He's still absolutely...
He's still not qualified. That's it.
Anything.
Although he must have got a degree when he went to drama college, or a diploma at least when he went to...
Probably gave him that as well.
Yeah.
Probably gave him that as well.
Probably, yeah.
I just don't agree with this whole honorary thing at all. I think it's an insult. And to give one to him as well, just laughable. Idiot-proof Dalek, he's done nothing except from be a favoured group by far lefties. And guess who's in control of the universities and the colleges now?
Yeah.
Sadly, as we all know now. And thank you for your super chat, Lex. Give it to John Cleese. John Cleese is being brilliant at the moment. Absolutely brilliant. He doesn't care. Probably because he's older and wiser. And he's really calling them all out. And he's getting so much abuse from the far lefties as well. Yeah. And he doesn't care. He's going on and on and on. And a lot of the stuff that he says makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
Perfect sense. And I just think there needs to be a lot more in show business like him. They can't, because the rest of them just, oh, look, a bandwagon, Chris Kaz, nice to see you. I find the whole dishing out doctorates to celebrities offensive. Yeah, you and me both, mate. Sea Devil Sushi, an honorary doctorate. It's a degree without the degree of effort. Yeah. Exactly, totally agree. And Funky saying to us, I deserve it more. And despite being Welsh, I'm more Scottish than Ncuti. You've got a point. Steve Braddock. I just think it's DEI box ticking to boost the university with his name, but all he will do is tarnish it.
But he doesn't really have a name, does he? Let's be honest.
No.
I mean, his career's not taken off since Doctor Who. He's not been gone to Hollywood and become a massive star. So he doesn't have any kudos whatsoever. Let's be honest.
No, well,
for everyone that fails their degree, 5 or 6 more will take the course. Isn't that the line that they normally trot out?
Yeah, very similar, yes.
Probably, yeah. Tony Farrell is saying to us, though, I have a degree. Yep, me too. There's nothing wrong with honorary degrees if the recipients have done something in their field to deserve the award. He didn't even go to that university, though.
No.
And I actually, I'll agree to disagree with you, Tony. I think there is. When I look at my experience, 3.5 years I did at university, which was a waste of my time with the benefit of hindsight. I should have gone straight into working. Yeah. But that's just my experience of it, because it was hard. And we're looking at the late 80s here for me. The only things I got out of it really was being able to be a same-sex attracted activist at the time, going on all the rallies and the pride marches and all that, and enjoying all that sort of stuff. But when these alleged celebrities are given something, I don't get it, because it's a minimal amount of publicity for them. And it's not as if anybody's going to say, oh, Ncuti Gatwa's an honorary doctorate here, I think I'll go there, because kids aren't interested in that. They're more interested in what they should be more interested in. how's this course going to affect my life and what's it going to do to get me a job? Gray's with us saying, I suspect it's a TQ plus based appointment. Oh, it wouldn't surprise me. They're all there, aren't they? And hello, Tyler Durden Smile. Maybe he got it for attendance, apart from all the Dr. Light episodes. We've got this from Rob Taylor. Hello, Rob Taylor, who's saying, why are you asked? Obsessed with the guy, it's pathetic. Hardly the only person to get an honorary degree, is he? That's the point. That's what I'm saying, Rob. I'm saying, look, I don't agree with any of them getting it. So it's, but, the other thing about this is, of course, he has played the Doctor, allegedly, in Doctor Who, allegedly. And that's what we're here to do.
Which episode did he play the Doctor in? Can you remember?
No, because I never saw it. But that's what we're here to do, Rob. We're here to talk about Doctor Who in all its form. And this is our political show on a Sunday. This is Headlines. And this is the show where we discuss the people that have been in Doctor Who or the things that affect the world of Doctor Who. So, thanks for watching. And thanks for your comment. I'm Mark McIntosh. Good to see you, mate. My daughter is off to Glasgow Caledonia University in September. Good luck to her. She's doing a nursing degree. It's a 4-year course. Oh, fantastic. Good luck to her. Gosh, yeah. I met some of the nurses from Glasgow Caledonian Uni on their training, on their sort of like work experience type stuff, and they were brilliant. They were really good. So she's going to a good one there, I think. Good for them.
And you have to work very hard to be a nurse and a doctor, so it's not an easy thing at all.
I couldn't do it. I really couldn't do it. Hello, Mace4. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. And Grace saying to us that honorary degrees are a bit like royal honours. Some people are deserving, but many others aren't. Okay. Yeah. I don't think celebrities are worthy of it, to be quite honest. I think if it was your normal Joe Blogs public who had done something stunning, I would agree with that. But I don't think at all anybody from an alleged industry that's supposed to entertain is worthy of anything. Because as I said before, stick him in a supermarket and they wouldn't be able to stack shelves. Honestly, they'd need directing.
Interesting though, isn't it? Because he said some very racially inflammatory things as Gatwa.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's that bright either. So I don't see that it looks in any way, shape or form as being anything positive for that university. But the fact that they've done it regardless of what he said that's racially inflammatory, and he has, we all know that, it's interesting that they're choosing to ignore it and give him this honour, for want of a better term, whereas somebody else that's perhaps not so ethnically orientated would probably be cancelled instead.
Yeah,
if they'd said similar racially inflammatory things.
Yeah,
it's definitely two-tier. There's a lot of that around at the minute, isn't there?
There is, and it's all hypocritical, as we've said many times on the show. It is. Tony, JT, I'm not saying pointless celebs should get these degrees. As far as I'm concerned, the lollipop lady is just, if not more, deserving. Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah.
Agree with that. Totally. Interesting point you're making there, Ian, as well.
Yeah.
It's as though that, it's like that idiot who's running the Green Party or leading the Green Party said the other day, isn't it, Who viewers? He basically said on an interview that people that didn't think like him shouldn't be in society.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
And people
can you imagine if somebody like, I don't know, Boris Johnson previously, or Nigel Farage, or Jenrick, or somebody like that, or Braverman, if they'd said that, it would be everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, hell would break loose. But he said it. Part of it could be the fact that nobody's really taking him seriously because he is a bit of a fool.
Well, he's come up with really stupid bloody ideas, hasn't he? Let's be honest.
It's incredible. Yeah. And the people that are voting for him with their tea towels and stuff like that, far left, can't tell man from a woman, Hello, Nate Channel. Can I get a 3D degree? Yes, you can. We'll sort it out for you here on the channel. We will. In fact, you can speak to Sheila B and ask for one of her devotional degrees. Yes, that'll be good, won't it? Let's have a look at the poll then, shall we, gentlemen? The question that's open to you. We'll close it now. I'm going to stop it now, everybody. Okay, we're going to stop the poll. Is Gatwa's honorary doctorate a result of DEI? One was yes, of course it is. No, he's earned it. I can tell you that 100% of you that voted said yes, of course it is. And
quite tight.
Yeah. And nobody went for no, he earned it.
Not even the person that was concerned about our criticism of him. That's interesting.
Well, you had the chance. It's gone now.
Yeah.
It's gone. Bored with that one now. But yes, but thank you for that. Got another poll coming up for you very soon, everybody. So stand by your beds. Stand by your beds. But anyway, yes, so that made me laugh this week. Ncuti Gatwa is getting an honorary doctorate.
It's crazy.
Absolutely insane.
Crazy.
Okay, then. So, yes. Who's this? Answers on a postcard to Whose Views? BBC Television Centre, London, W12 8QT.
Davros.
It's Davros, very nearly.
Whoever it is, they've got a problem with their head, I think. Yeah. So,
who's this, chat? I'm going to have a look in the chat. Well, I'm going to leave that up for you to think for a minute. Who is it? Who is this? Johnny the Cabbage. No, it's not Kim Kardashian. Behave. That is quite funny, though, isn't it?
it's just a new Cyberman with a glass head, so you can see they're partly human.
Oh, you see. Rocking Terry Lee, King Tut. Mordrin Brown Bread, it's good to see you. Says, is it a Sensorite? Kev Gresham is saying it looks like the Erasure Chorus album cover. Julianne Goodwin is saying, Dave Paulden, behave. The Macronom, I'm not sure who it is, but he deserves an honorary doctorate. Sea Devil Sushi is saying that's a nude. Matthew Pounder is saying, well, it can't be Russell because it has a brain. Jason G is also saying the same thing. Thank you, Jason G. Margie75 wants, is that a Dalek? And Fafty Head is also saying to us, I've crossed the road on my own. Can I have an honorary degree, please? No, you can't. Can you have an honorary degree? Oh, dear. No, you can't. Get in the corner, Fafty Head. How many times have you been in the corner now? Get in that corner. And while you're there, by the way, why don't you choose one of our special and brand new I've been put in the corner Whose Views merchandise? Yes, you can get t-shirts, hats, and mugs, sweatshirts, and even cuddly toys that say I've got put in the Whose Views corner. All available right now for when you've been very naughty on the channel. Yes, just like some of you have been this evening. So you can all get put in the corner and you can get a lovely bit of merchandise from our shop, all available right now.
Wonderful.
Yeah. And if that doesn't suit you, guess what else we've got? Thank you to the lovely Kirk Stacey, of course, for all the artwork he did of the guys here. They're available now for you in our Whose Views shop as well. A range of T-shirts and lovely mugs and sweatshirts and things like that. And
I'll have to get a mug. Mugs is great, yeah.
It's Kirk Stacey's caricatures of myself, Third Doctor Ian Paul, and Our Lady of the Chat herself. But they're all available there for you. Anyway.
Your mug on the mug.
Yeah. How much are the mugs retailing at, GT?
I have no idea. I can't remember. Okay. There, but there you go. Anyway, yes, so back to that. None of you got it right, but this is, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Billie Piper, who this week put onto her social media, I am inflammation. So grateful to experience a full body scan with Prenuvo. Look, I'm doing what she's doing now, except she's getting paid for this. I'm not. Taking charge of my health in the most proactive way through their early detection technologies. Hashtag ad. So I just want to make sure everybody knows I'm not getting paid for this. Whose Views one at gmail.com. Yes, so so this is Billie. She's putting this out. Look at these pictures she put out here, everybody, of her posing at this very specialist clinic, of course, as she was getting all these scans.
It still looked like Davros, to be honest, with the way that the nose seemed to go right down, and there looked like there was a little bump in the forehead where his eye was. I swear blind.
Yeah. Well, it's not. It's Billie.
It'll be the new Davros because he's standing up.
Yeah, but there you go. So she's put these. I just thought this was bizarre, and I just immediately thought, well, that's one way to make some extra money, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's advocating getting full body scans to detect, to see if you've got something that hasn't actually started to affect you yet.
Yeah, she's obviously getting, as she says there, taking charge of my health in the most proactive way through early
preventative
technologies. Yeah. So she's making sure she's all right, which is great, and as it should be. But I just thought, how much?
I've heard about things like that, which in some respects is a good idea. You know, if you see something and you can detect it and get it treated quickly, because obviously the sooner, as you know, JT, the sooner you get something detected and treated, the better your possible outcomes are. But if you were detected with something that said, oh, you know, you've got early traces of X, Y, or Z, you can get hit on your life insurance because you have to detect it.
Ah, right, yeah.
That's true. That's true. But go on, Paul.
I was going to say, how much does it cost to switch one of those machines on to put Billie through it? To I mean, really, that's a waste of money, isn't it? Surely.
They are a lot of money. They are a lot of money. A lot of money. But I thought this was quite bizarre because only the day before I saw this on the social media. Oh God, I haven't written down. I saw it this week on the social media, but the day before, of course, I'd seen certain elements of fandom. They've started filming. Billie Piper's on set. And I just thought, no, she's not. She's here promoting this health and safety thing. Look, she's not going to be on set immediately after that, is she?
And she's dressed as a doctor, not the doctor.
Mind you, Ncuti Gatwa wasn't dressed as the doctor either, was he?
That's true.
So she could turn up in that outfit. But no, I just thought it would... I just thought, no. These people who are always banging on about it's in production again, because we've had this over the last year, haven't we, Ian? There's going to be this, there's going to be that. No, she's not. She was there doing this. And it's obviously, and good for her in a way as well, it's obviously some sort of ad promotion, as she said there. Funky is saying to us for a super chat, thank you, Funky, the Xmas special title, The Brain of Piper. Ooh, that sounds good.
It's a 2-minute program then, is it?
Gray is saying, well, that won't be on the NHS then.
No,
not at all. And Space Peninsula is saying to us, I respect it. She's keeping her diary full, doing any old bollocks to get out of the Christmas special.
Well done, her. Yeah.
Yeah, she's not daft, is she? I'm sorry, Russell, I can't possibly. I'm having a scan. Ciao, darling. Yeah, exactly. But Julie is saying to us, she looks very different. Is she on the injections? She's looked different since the Series 4, though, hasn't she, when she turned up? I don't know what.
She went to Turkey to get new teeth, allegedly, didn't she? I remember that time. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, so she did. I remember that now. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, you're right. But there she is. In the branded outfit as well. Yeah. But to those of you out there who probably aren't watching this show, who were saying that they've started filming this week, no, they haven't. Sorry to disappoint you.
Clutching at straws, I feel, yes.
Again.
If she's doing an ad and they're presumably paying her for it, then you would think, wouldn't you, that if she's taking these photos, she would actually flip them so that the writing on the shirt that she's wearing is the right way around. I don't get people that do that. They do these poses with their phones, and like you see the one on the left, they don't flip the picture, which is really easy to do in your gallery.
Do that though, Ian? You're the technical expert here on who's.
Well, she's doing it. She's probably taking a photo of herself in the mirror, so that's a photo of her in the mirror.
Well, I don't know. Is my huge views back to front on this because I'm on my.
No, we're all okay.
We all look okay.
We've flipped our cameras. We've made sure it's not. Yeah. But I don't know why they don't do it, and they should insist on it, because if they're paying her for it, then you know, their logo's back to front.
Yeah,
it's very odd, isn't it? But spread the word, Who viewers, if you've seen anybody on social media crying this week, going, "Oh my God, they've started filming." They haven't started filming, and we would know when they've started filming because, by God, they'd make a fuss of it. And I can confirm as well that they're still recruiting for the staff. They're still trying to get the production crew back in, and they've all left to go on to other projects. So nothing is currently in production, as it were. It's still what we call dark. It's as simple as that, which is way behind. Was I told in December, guys, they would be in production by the end of March? Was it December-ish? I heard that.
I think that was the rumor, March, April, wasn't it?
Must have been.
I know they're talking about September potentially, aren't they? If it goes at all.
Yeah. So, not that any of us care, to be quite honest. But anyway, there you go. So there's Billie Piper doing all that. Good luck to her. Let's see if she turns up in Doctor Who again. Who knows? Thanks for joining us for your big show tonight. It's Headlines. It's the 19th of April, 2026. And who remembers this?
Sack Russell T Davis, sack Jane Tranter, sack Phil Collinson, sack Julie Gardner, and I'll come back.
Yes, of course, that was Mr. Christopher Eccleston himself at a Doctor Who convention. Now, that would have been, was it early last year?
It was a while ago, yeah.
And as you can see, he was on stage with Billie Piper, and you can see Billie's expression there as well. She's going, and loving every minute of it. I'm going to play it for you again, just to remind you.
Sack Russell T Davis, sack Jane Tranter, sack Phil Collinson, sack Julie Gardner, and I'll come back.
So it's something that we will never, ever forget, isn't it? I mean, it's there, it's recorded. Shows like us have kept it on file. Oh, yes, we have. Just to show there's a lot going on with Mr. Christopher Eccleston, isn't there? We talked about him either last week or the week before when he said something that we didn't necessarily agree with. And this week he's coming along with something that we might possibly agree with, everybody. Have you seen it? You probably have seen this because it was covered a lot this week. This was from the Telegraph with Christopher Eccleston. TV has made white middle-aged men its most toxic villains. The actor is about to play such a character in the Netflix show Unchosen. So this is one of the things that he's been going on about this over the last couple of weeks, guys. He's plugging, obviously, this new Netflix show where he's playing this villain, as we know. Yeah. And, well, let's go through the article because it'll be interesting to hear what you guys think about this and also, of course, what everybody in the chat is thinking about. So let's have a look at this together, everyone. TV has made white, heterosexual and middle-aged men its most toxic villains, according to Eccleston. The actor plays the role of a sinister cult leader in the 6-part series written by Julia Geary. He said there's a great trend in drama at the moment for antagonists who are toxic, white, apparently heterosexual, late middle-aged men. Thankfully, Julia gave him dimension and placed him in a story of tragedy involving the loss of his son and alcoholism. That's his character. It's a gift of a role because of the awkward questions it asks of our audience. Speaking to the Radio Times, Eccleston also said that TV has dumbed down because executives treat audiences as if they are stupid. Historically, there would be programs that I watched when I was young where I would feel patronized, love thy neighbor or whatever. But there was a lot where I felt I was being respected, the likes of The Play for Today and The Naked Civil Servant. But with the erosion of the writer's culture to almost writing by committee, I've heard stories about some of the idiotic and sometimes downright hateful assumptions about the audience's intelligence today. A lot of people in television think the audience is stupid, he said. State of the nation dramas are possible. Look at the success of Adolescence. But I don't think we have those visionary, politicized, poetic people who want to make them now. Hollywood also treats its audiences like idiots, said Eccleston, whose CV includes Gone in 60 Seconds and Thor, The Dark World. I've had this argument in Hollywood regarding one-dimensional villains I've played. It doesn't make the heroes look smarter taking on villains like that. It makes them look stupid. What Julia understands is something that so many people in television and film, in their arrogance, will not accept, that audiences are much brighter than we are. Eccleston, who's 62, also spoke about toxic masculinity. Masculinity is in crisis, he says, and it seems it's particularly white working-class boys who are being neglected, left to rot by governments and targeted by the far right. So as an ex-working-class white boy, I try, if I can, to address some of those things. Masculinity shouldn't be a contingent on other people's oppression, he said. What do you think?
He always gets working class in there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You can't help it. He always gets working class in there. I don't think he's been working class for a long time, as we've all mentioned before. So I think he's probably lost touch with his working class roots anyway. I mean, it's right what he's saying about generally white working class boys are neglected, are across the education system and everything else. Girls have been the higher achievers in exams and everything else for decades, and yet the emphasis is still on making sure girls get a certain level of education, that they get focus and everything else, like STEM and everything else. And all you're doing is reinforcing a situation that's already there, which therefore is negative towards boys, we should be trying to make everybody achieve equally as best we can, or they get all the same opportunities anyway. So he's right on that one, definitely. But I think, yeah, this is very much him plugging his program. I do wonder how often, how much he really gives a damn, to be honest.
Well, I think Funky's saying that. Sorry, Paul, I'll continue to say that. Funky's actually saying to us there, how dare white men be made toxic villains? By the way, I'm playing one soon. Go on, Paul.
Well, yeah, it's just like the Planet of the Incels they did on remember that Ncuti Gatwa episode, the first one when what's her name came into it, you know? He's right about that. It seems to be the norm to bash white male actors or white male people, so he's right about that. But it always gets me when he brings up examples of, or people bring up examples of old sitcoms like Love Thy Neighbor or Till Death Just Part and stuff. He missed the point entirely because it wasn't, you know, you weren't being patronized. You obviously missed the point. Because how old was he when Love Thy Neighbor was on? He probably was about 6 or something, 7, maybe 8.
That
I don't know.
70s, wasn't it? So he's in 60s, so probably a bit older.
Yeah,
Probably
but even
about
then, you weren't being patronised. You're missing the point of that because it was meant to be laughing at people who had that racist opinion. They weren't agreeing with it. They were taking the mickey out of it in the same way that Alf Garnett did as well. And you know, so it's kind of like you're missing the point. For such an intelligent man, he talks utter bollocks. Sorry to use your catchphrase, Ian, but he does. You know, so
you're welcome, my friend.
thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, but I also in that interview, and again he's doing the rounds. In that interview, I think he's also getting at people like RTD, Julie Gardner, Phil Collinson, because he's obviously got an axe to grind with that one as well, and that's going to come out sooner rather than later. The full story, because here he is. And that's why I played that clip again, because basically you can tie it in with what he's saying now. It's come to my attention that people are writing things which speak down to an audience, which is exactly what RTD's been doing for God knows how many years now. You can also say a lot of other people have been doing that. And the good writers that didn't do that, like Toby Whithouse, have gone on to do other stuff which has been successful. Gareth Roberts has gone on to be an independent writer, doing lots of other things. Robert Sherman never came back for whatever reason, and he writes brilliantly. So I think there's that element in it as well. Or am I just reading things into that because I want to, do you think?
No, I think you're right to a certain extent, but I think he's, as we said earlier, he's simply jumping on the bandwagon that's going to be the new norm, and he's trying to cover himself, I think, probably, yeah.
Well, on this subject, I've got another, sorry, Ian, we'll come to you in a sec, hold your thought. Right. On this subject, we do have another poll for you, obviously. The question is for you all in the chat. I love these things. Now I've got it, we're using it. Is Eccleston right? Is masculinity in crisis? 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 for there's no such thing as gender. Go for it. It's open for you now. Keep it going there. Go on, Ian, what were you going to say?
I was going to say this situation with white males being portrayed as evil or bad, or the negative stereotypes has been around for decades. And I find the thing that makes me question his I said genuineness, but that's not a word, is it? The thing that makes me want to question how genuine he is why has he not said this before with the platform that he's got? He's saying it just as he has a program that's coming out that he wants to market, and therefore is he doing more of a selfish thing? He's just thinking of something controversial he can say to draw more attention to the program that he's doing, which I think is probably
a good point. I hadn't thought about Dr. Ian, but that's a really good point, because he could have done before, couldn't he? And he did go through a sort of mini cancellation of his own after Doctor Who, didn't he? Because of the allegations. We've got to say alleged at this point, you know, the rumors that we heard. So he could have, but it's interesting. You're absolutely right. Here he is, where he's now praising the author of this current piece of work that he's done. He's playing a white villain, as you're pointing out in the chat as well. Who's I assume heterosexual as well, and he's tying it in with the things that we've all noticed for 3 or 4 years and have been calling out for 3 or 4 years, maybe more in some cases.
At least
he name checks adolescence, doesn't he? Which has done more damage for white males than anything else. A story based loosely on a real event where it was actually a black teenager and nothing to do with a white lad whatsoever. It's been whitewashed, literally. And if it was heroic and a black lad and they made it a white lad, there would be screams from the far left. But he had to name check that, which kind of like kicks the feet from under his argument again anyway.
I still don't understand why they've done that with adolescents. I can understand why the Prime Minister of the new United Kingdom adores it and thinks it should be shown in every bloody school in the land, because it ties in with this whole, the far right crap. But I think it's unfair. And I think it shows the state of the entertainment industry in our country as well, which has all come, no offense to anybody from America, but it has come from America. Whatever happens in America tends to get over here a few months later. And this whole poison that we've had into our industry comes from bloody Hollywood. So had they done a series, they just can't think about it. Had that boy remained based on the actual real person who was dark-skinned, had they done that can you imagine the fuss that would have come from the far left? How dare you show people of color in this? How dare you do? But because it's a white lad, that's fine.
It was based on a true story, wasn't it? That was the thing. I said, why did you change it? It's like, it's stupid. Yeah.
Well, Matthew Pounder is saying that he lost me praising adolescence. I'm the same, Matthew. And I don't, I do understand, because the industry is sick. That's why it got all these awards and applauds and all this sort of stuff. Not taking anything away from the talent of the young boy that was playing the role. I never watched it for the simple reason I thought, no, it's a fiction. It's a drama. I can't be bothered. If they'd done a documentary, I might have been interested in the documentary, but because it was a fiction, I knew it was going to be full of all the tick boxing from the show business.
At least he didn't do a Liam Neeson. Remember, Liam Neeson did that when he's promoting his movie, and he got himself into real trouble, and then he got cancelled. As that was all through the promotion. Remember when he made that comment about Taken? It was another Taken movie he was making, and about and he got into trouble for that, and then got cancelled, and his career went down the pan for a bit, and he might have come back a little bit from it.
It's ridiculous, isn't it?
Yeah.
How did we get into it? And how did we, folks, get into this society where everybody's judged for their opinion, and everybody has to bend the knee to what the far left have dictated for the past 8-9 years? It's ridiculous. I'm so glad people are waking up, and nobody is frightened anymore of the term far right. We've seen that over the last weekend here in the UK, where everybody that turned out to a certain march yesterday across the country, London, Manchester especially, was called far right. None of them cared. And as far as I could see, none of them looked far right to me. They're just like normal British people saying, hang on a minute, we've had enough of all this.
I might have said before many times, they just trivialise phrases like far right, and just they don't understand what they're talking about.
Yeah, they like throwing accusations and names around, and at one point in the very early noughties, and it not all, but a lot of it stems from Blair and his election in 1990.
God, yeah, I know.
But they were doing it in Hungary. I mean, obviously, it hasn't quite worked out the way the EU were hoping, which is fantastic. But they were calling Viktor Orban a dictator and everything else. But he held the elections.
Yeah,
he didn't cancel them like Keir Starmer, who's calling him a dictator. And then when the election was concluded, he did a smooth transition of power. That's not what a dictator does, but all the EU and Starmer called him a dictator because they like throwing these names around. But Starmer's the one that tried and initially did, but then had to dial back, just like 99% of everything else he's done. Wasn't able to cancel the elections, but he certainly tried.
He did try.
That's the actions of a dictator, not the one who is calling a dictator. But that's just another example of throwing the names around. It's it's horrendous.
Let's hope Keir Starmer's days are numbered after his oh my God, Peter Mandelson was that really what's going on there? That's really stupid. He didn't know that Peter Mandelson
with him, isn't there? I didn't know about Mendelsohn. He also claimed he didn't know about Jimmy Savile, and he says he never lies. But then he stood up and said that Southport stabber was not terror related, and then he was found with terrorist training manuals and ricin in his bedroom. I mean, and then
that's where he called the British public for the outrage over those beautiful girls' murder That's where he called us all far right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where he said, if you don't like it, the door's open, you can leave. That's telling British people that have probably got ancestors going back centuries. He's saying, get out of the country. It's absolutely ridiculous.
Well, he's going to be shown the door hopefully soon. Yeah.
Well, I would say, Paul, how he's managing to survive the Mandelson scandal, I don't know, because he's sacking every single person around him as a scapegoat. It's pure
scapegoat.
They're all scapegoats. These people are civil servants, and they're all. He's in charge of them. They all have to report at some point, whatever way, to him.
He did criticize Boris Johnson for sacking one or two people and said that he should take responsibility and not blame civil servants for what's gone on. And yet here we are.
Exactly. We've got Digby saying, go on, Paul.
Because when Mandelson was vetted, allegedly, the story goes, doesn't it, that he was vetted, but they thought actually he's not right for the job because of his connection to X, Y, and Z, whatever. But he still got through. How does that work? Really, he still got the job. Really, how does that work?
At some point, he's going to have to take responsibility, because that's what a leader does, and he's no leader. We should never allow a human rights lawyer into a position of power like that.
Agreed. Starmer got elected on a huge majority, not because people were thinking that he was good, but because the Tories were just so diabolical. And there was, at that point, not much of a coordinated option for anything else. But I think he came in with that massive majority and thought, I can do what the power corrupted straight away. I can do whatever I want, and therefore rules don't apply to me. And I think he'd appointed, allegedly, Mandelson into that role before he went through the vetting process anyway. So it was clearly what he wanted, and he thought he didn't have to be accountable to anybody. But you know something, if there's a failure and he's saying that the failure is in the Foreign Office, then the person in charge of the Foreign Office at the time was David Lammy, so he should go as well.
He should be out there being asked questions as well. Digby's saying to us here, adolescence is a pretty poor example of a state of the nation drama. It actually indulges in what Christopher Eccleston is complaining about. That's a very good point. We've also got a lot of you in the chat. John Steed, he's correct. This is Eccleston, but tends to change his mind quite often. He's slowly getting there. He's too much of a champagne socialist for me, John. I don't think he'll ever be fully aware of this whole thing of how the far left have really taken over with their ideologies and their dictates. Lex is saying to us, I don't always agree with Christopher Eccleston, but I agree with him on this one. Fair enough, Lex. Yeah, I mean, I do as well, actually, to be quite honest. I think white heterosexual men and masculinity are in danger, and I think they have been for a good number of years. I've been spouting off about it a lot. Darren Reed saying to us, he's realised that the jobs aren't coming in so thick and fast these days. Mace 4 is saying, just leave the doctor's sexuality absolutely irrelevant to the script. The doctor doesn't have a sexuality, does he, Mace 4? He's not there at all. Can someone switch him off, says Domgo. Count 1970 lives. I think he sees the wind changing and is just trying to get in front of it. I hope it is. What do you guys in the chat think about my reading into it, that he might also have been getting at the likes of RTD, Phil Collinson, Julie Gardner, Jane Tranter? What do you think about that? Sea Devil Sushi, they don't terminate white males. They just upgraded our employment status. Reviews ransom religions. Wasn't adolescence propaganda disguised as entertainment? Yes. As we were saying there. Absolutely. Woodhouse 122 also saying Eccles Cake will probably say the exact opposite in his next interview.
Probably, once the job's finished,
Yeah. Matthew Pounder, adolescence demonizes white working class boys. Exactly. And they wouldn't dare do that, as we said there, Matthew. They wouldn't have dare kept it as real and cast a boy of colour into the role. And it would have been there for a young lad to get his breakthrough, because the young lad that played this lad in The Adolescents got awards. So why wouldn't you have done that? This is the hypocrisy, Ian, about this again. Again, they're going on, there's not enough roles for women. There's not enough roles for people of colour. And yet they're throwing men in who are calling themselves women into women's roles. And then they're giving roles that are factually correct to white people. It's all screwed up. I don't.
Well, was it that women have ruined feminism, haven't they? Let's be honest.
Well, that's the other thing, isn't it? Yeah.
You can't talk about feminism without women chipping in. But I mean, there's
what they like. Yeah.
Wasn't it wasn't it that white actor guy that wrote Adolescence? What's he called? He was in it.
Stephen,
He played his dad. Was it Stephen Graham?
Yes,
something like
yes.
that. Was it? Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's as much. I hate to say it like this, but he's as much a traitor to his own ethnic group, for want of a better term, without sounding mildly the R word. You know what I mean? He's a white male. I will assume, possibly wrongly, that he came from a working class background. He's just taken a massive shit on his heritage.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of DEI and not making it look like a black person, which it was.
Yeah. Nice to see you, Sally. Thanks for your chat there. Great and busy chat here. Great to see you all talking about this. Mark Reeves, thank you for your super chat. When Starmer goes, we need to put his desk in the channel because nothing crosses it.
Superb.
Very good.
Very good, Mark. Very good.
Very, very good. And yeah, I like that one. Yeah, and I think we should actually, because it's the best place for it. When he goes, the nation will feel a slight bit of relief until his replacement comes in, because everybody in the Labour Party is far left. So what we've got to understand is that Starmer is actually the best of a bad crew.
Well, we're going to see a bit of a reshuffle, aren't we? Once we get the by-elections coming up and stuff.
I reckon he'll go till May, and then he'll go because the results will be so bad. On top of the Mendelssohn affair,
he'll have to go.
Yeah, because tomorrow he's going to go into Parliament and he's going to speak to everybody in there, and he's going to say, "I didn't know anything.
I didn't know. Don't blame me.
Don't get at me. I'm so innocent."
When Johnson went, and then when Liz Truss went, both times, virtually everybody in Labour was saying you can't just swap prime ministers, you have to have a general election. So let's see.
Well, I've been saying that to him on all the social media platforms. I've been saying you're a hypocrite, you're a traitor to Britain, you should be in the Tower, resign and call a general election so we can get rid of them. But, you know, I'd be worried about which way the vote would go at the moment because there's so many factions now. I am expecting a hung Parliament. Which
I think it will be.
Reviews, Rants and Religion. Starmer is probably getting help from the friends at Davos. And Count 1970 lives. Starmer makes the hairs on the back of my neck stand up. Who replaces him? David Lammy makes me feel nauseous. And David Lammy, of course, is one of those very famous politicians that doesn't know what a woman is.
Yeah. Didn't he post on X? I saw a screen grab of it, but you never know if it was doctored. Allegedly, he posted on X when they chose the previous pope and they did white smoke, and he was going on about racism.
It was apparently he did. Yeah, I thought that was a joke, and then I realised it wasn't April.
Yeah,
absolute idiot.
Just complete and utter idiots. We are, of course, talking about Christopher Eccleston at the moment. You actually, believe it or not, we are. We're talking about Christopher Eccleston, who's been going on about this week various things, but this one thing about writers talking down to their audience. He's been talking about the fact that white heterosexual males are being made into continual villains. I mean, he's just been carrying on and going on about it all. And I have to say, on this particular occasion, when I read that, I agreed with that. I thought, yes, you're right, but what have you done about it? You know, it's all very well and good, you taking a role and feeling confident enough to be able to speak to the writers and speak to the producers and speak to the director and say, well, I see it this way. But you haven't done anything in the industry at all. You haven't done anything to change your industry. You know, we are running a poll. It's still open for you now. Is Eccleston right? Is masculinity in crisis? Yes, you press number 1. No, you press number 2. And if you think there's no such thing as gender, you press number 3. I can tell you that currently, out of everybody that has voted at the moment, and there's a lot of you in the chat, a lot of you watching, if you want to, and you can, all votes, it's just for fun, so come and do it. 95% of you have said yes, and 2% of you have said there's no such thing as gender.
We've got a wonderfully biased audience. It's lovely. Yeah.
Yeah. We do have the corner for you if you're naughty. Don't forget here on Who's Views. Yes, you'll be put in the corner. Let's have a look and see what else they're saying in the chat for us, everybody. Dalek Shalom is saying that. Oh, Gregory Jones, good to see you. Hello, thank you for your vote. Dalek Shalom, Eccleston is a crybaby. Reminds me of a Madonna song. Oh, she's back. Have you noticed? What have we got? Julianne. Hello, Julianne. Never seen Diane Abbott and David Lammy in the same room, in the same place together. Oh, I love it. She's transed, everybody. Yes. And they're both thick as mince, aren't they? Honest to God. Honest to
She
God.
should never, ever teach maths.
Never, yeah.
Well, she can't even find a way out of a corridor, for heaven's sake. Come on.
Her and
neither
her pal
can
Rachel, definitely, yeah.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Crisis in an island in the Mediterranean to Pete Harrington. And JWC Reviews, nice to see you. He's telling me it's Michael French. Yes, it was from earlier on in the show. Yeah. Matthew Poundry saying, did you know that Henry VII followed Henry VIII? Don't talk to me about Henry VIII, because here we are talking about what Eccleston's saying. And of course, there's a drama going around at the moment, Matthew Poundry, I don't know if you've seen it, where Henry VIII has been recast as a black boy in a wheelchair.
And remember Henry IX as well. Wham damn.
Why is there not enough going on about Henry IX? We need more dramas about Henry IX, everybody, because he was the first man in space, and he was also responsible as a transgender woman to build the pyramids.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let's just make up history. Why not? Yeah.
Well, they are, aren't they?
Yeah.
It's what the left do all the time. Yeah, blimey.
Yeah.
Third Dr. Andy is with us. England is in the same place as here in Canada. Top three parties are corrupt, and the smallest party has the most common sense, but will never win. I think Third Dr. Andy, and I'm sending lots of love to you, because I think Canada is far worse than us. Somebody mentioned in the chat earlier, have you seen all the acronyms that have been added onto LGBTQ++? Yes, I have. MMW, BBC, ITV, Channel 4. It's been a running joke of mine for years. And now suddenly here come your people in charge there. That bloody woman. What an idiot. What an idiot she was. I mean, God, I just sat there and I was thinking, I actually believe she's just said that. She means this. Unbelievable.
She was serious, wasn't she?
Right.
She was serious. She believed what she was talking about.
She really did. She really
Insane.
did. Insane. Utterly insane. Okay, then. I'm going to stop the poll, everybody. Woo! Thank you so much. The result of our second poll in the show this evening is Christopher Eccleston right. Is masculinity in crisis? A whopping 96% of you voted yes, it is. And a not whopping 4% of you said there's no such thing as gender. So thank you for that, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed that. But yeah, 96% of our chat guys said that it is. So we're actually agreeing with Mr. Eccleston for once here on the show, Paul.
It's weird, isn't it? I bet next week we won't be.
Because he'll contradict himself, or he'll be a hypocrite, or he'll do something again, won't he? Everybody, and that's the thing. But once again, bear in mind, he said this:
Sack Russell T Davis, sack Jane Tranter, sack Phil Collinson, sack Julie Gardner, and I'll come back.
I think there's definitely a message in what he's been saying there to certain people. I really, really do.
I think in that clip, I remember seeing the clip on YouTube, and I think Billie Piper looks slightly embarrassed by that because she wants to work.
Well, her face was a picture, as we saw there. She was like, because she didn't. She said later, I didn't know he was going to say that, but she obviously gets on with Chris as well, so that's great.
Yeah.
Another doctor that's been doing the rounds this week, everybody, is the one and only Mr. Peter Capaldi. Here he is from the Laura Kussenberg show on the BBC last weekend, because he's currently promoting the second series of his drama, which we're going to talk about in this week's story. Now, Mr. Capaldi has been talking about various issues. As ever, they're talking about the thick of it. As ever, they're talking about Doctor Who. And as far as I'm concerned, he's being very gracious, because I don't think deep down he wants to talk about Doctor Who.
No.
I could be reading it into it, Who viewers, Paul, Ian. I could be. I don't know. But let's have a look at this together. I've got various articles now about various talks that he's done, but we're going to start with this one from the Irish Independent, if we can. Doctor Who star Doctor Who star Peter Capaldi turned down Celebrity Traitors because it would involve too much exposure. Former Doctor Who actor Peter Capaldi said he turned down joining the Celebrity Traitors because he did not want that level of exposure. In a discussion about the pressures of fame and his career, the thick of it actor told the BBC's Sunday with Laura Kussenberg programme he was asked to take part in the all-star version of the BBC's reality television, but said no. Asked why, the 67-year-old Scottish actor said, because I think there's a level of fame that I think it propels you into the public eye at a level of exposure I don't really want. It's very difficult for people in that business to understand that you want to keep it small. He added, people keep saying to me, why don't you do a bigger tour? Or why don't you do a bigger release? Or why don't you promote this more? And that's about his music, of course. And I don't, because I'm not doing it to be famous. On his previous leading role as the Doctor, the Glasgow-born actor said he had a little regret when asked if he left the long-running BBC science fiction show too early. Has that come up? Has that slide come up?
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Right, so he says that it was great fun being Doctor Who, but the pressure of it is quite intense. You're sort of on all the time. And you don't want to disappoint anyone, because even though I'm not Doctor Who, if people are meeting me, they'd rather meet the version of me that is Doctor Who. So you try not to let them down. Yeah, because I'm quite miserable and melancholic, really, he joked, adding, and that was one of the big changes in my life, I guess, which happened quite late, was I'm quite miserable. But I thought you can't be miserable if you're Doctor Who. You can't, because you would disappoint people. So I have to become cheerful all the time. The first series of Celebrity Traitors aired on the BBC last autumn, with its nail-biting finale hitting a peak of 15.4 million UK viewers, according to the broadcaster. So I actually get his point on that one, guys, actually. You know, turning down... I respect the fact that he's been iconic in 2 shows now. I'm talking about The Thick of It and Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I get it. I get what he's saying.
So do I, because it's a bit like, you know, when you see celebs going on other programs like I'm a Celebrity or Big Brother or something like that, and it really shows you warts and all a little bit as well. I know that Traitors is a bit more fictitious in places, but there's that element of seeing too much of the real person you really don't want to see, kind of thing. It's like meeting your heroes and you don't get on with them. So I think it makes them very vulnerable and puts them in a position of maybe looking a bit of a twat. That's why I think he didn't do it. But he talks a lot of sense in this interview, I think, and I found it quite amusing, quite interesting to listen to. And the examples he gave about Doctor Who, I thought, yeah, there's a definite twinge of regret there, but he didn't have much of a choice, did he? Let's be honest, you know.
Well, yeah, so we believe. Well,
yeah.
we say that, so we believe. So the rumor goes. From the Radio Times, the beloved Scottish actor played the 12th Doctor, as we know, and has said he was eager not to disappoint any fans. I think I have a little regret about it, playing the Doctor, because it's great fun being Doctor Who, but the pressure of it is quite intense. You're sort of on all the time, as he says, and you don't want to disappoint anyone, because even though I'm not Doctor Who, if people are meeting me, they'd rather meet the version of me that is Doctor Who. He added, it's nice to sit in the TARDIS. It's nice to go to work and blow up Daleks. That's fun. So that's, I mean, yeah, that would be, wouldn't it? Then he goes on, as I said there before, you're sort of on all the time, and how he's trying not to let people down when they meet him, which must be exhausting. Yeah, so I feel for him here, actually, with all this, because, you know, what he's reportedly saying there as well is the responsibility is intense, and so I get that.
And he's respectful of the part, which Ncuti didn't do, neither did Jodie. They didn't kind of have the kudos or the intelligence even to think about the fact that this series has a huge responsibility, and he did it, and he's still behaving like an ambassador for the series, which is wonderful, I think, you know.
Mm-hmm. What do you
was
reckon,
weird. Well, it was weird. It was kind of weird seeing the BBC's sort of like ex-political editor, Laura Koonsberg, talking about Doctor Who in the first place. That was just weird. That was, you know, I'm not used to that. I don't like it, you know. But yeah, I really feel for Capaldi. I think he tries to be so polite, and he's so measured in his responses. But he's obviously been hurt. We know that. He's been hurt by what BBC did to him, and what Moffat and Chibnall did to him. And I think that's absolutely unforgivable. And for somebody, he's a fan, as we know, like us. You know, he's not just somebody that liked watching the program. He wrote in to is it his letter that's in the 10th anniversary special, for God's sake? You know, I mean, you know, that's some serious stuff. And imagine how we would feel if we were in his position. It would have absolutely devastated him. The thing that he loved since being a child that turned on him. It's awful. I really feel for him. But yeah, I mean,
but he's still an ambassador for the seas, where I think it's lovely that he still cares that much not to upset people. Could quite easy could tell people to get to Falkirk, couldn't he? Really, to be honest.
Absolutely. I would rather when they discover episodes, like they found episode 1 and 3 of Dalek Master Plan.
Mm-hmm.
Have they? Really? When was that?
Apparently. But should they find anything else, we'd love them to find Marco Polo. If they found Power of the Daleks, if they found Dalek Master Plan 4 or 10th Planet 4, watch the space, then I would love people like Capaldi to be interviewed to talk about these, because he's a bloody fan. Rather than, as I saw, looking at Bedweir's video, I think they had Briggs on stage at one point, didn't they, from Bog Fat? It's like, my God, it just irritates the hell out of me. Get somebody like Capaldi in, because, yes, he is a fantastic ambassador, but whatever the new series did to him, I just hope for his sake it hasn't impacted on how he sees the original series, which he would have grown up loving just like we did. I really, really hope he's still been able to hold on to that, because he deserves that. And I would love to see him talking about future missing episode discoveries.
Well, I bet he loved Master Plan 1 and 3. And
I'm sure.
Episode 4 as well, I'd imagine. As we all would. Yeah.
A lot of you in the chat are giving out a lot of love for Peter Capaldi. Count 1970 Lives says he was gutted when they fired him from Doctor Who, allegedly. He was brought to tears, apparently. No, he was. And actually, I heard that, Count 1970 Lives. I've told the story before. I was there listening to BBC Radio 2 that night when he was with Joe Wiley, when he announced he was leaving, and he cried. He burst into tears. Now, I will stick to my guns and say, a man of that age does not burst into the tears like he did if he was leaving a post voluntarily.
Yeah.
And he had, and remember, at that point, we knew Stephen Moffat was leaving, but Peter had gone. Mr. Capaldi had more or less said he was going to stay for at least another series. At that point, and then and tie that into the fact that Chris Chibnall has gone on record saying that he said to the BBC bosses at a lovely lunch he would only do Doctor Who if he could change the Doctor into a woman, thinking that they would say no, and he was off the hook. And they turned around, because they're all DEI obsessed, and said, "Oh, that's a fabulous idea." So therefore, he was lumbered with the job. That's where it all started to go downhill. John Steed saying to us, "I think Capaldi has his own thoughts on Doctor Who and remains faithful to what it was." Yeah. Thank you for that. I hope he does, like a third Doctor Ian is saying there. I hope he does. C-Double Sushi, I think he was deeply hurt during his last year. Oh, totally. Again, they messed around Matt Smith for that missing season. We didn't think about it. Season 7 was split into 2 over 2 years. We were robbed of a whole extra series of Matt Smith. That's when he went, "Oh, I'm not done with this. I'm out of contract. I'm off." And good for him. You Robert Payne, fair play to Capaldi. He wants to be known for his work and not for being famous. Absolutely. But Dalek Shalom saying he's an artist, not a celebrity. There are differences.
Very good point.
Yeah, I was actually watching Peter Capaldi earlier today because they repeated Local Hero.
Oh, great film. Yeah.
It is, Paul, isn't it? And the older I get, I mean, it's over 40 years old now, and the older I get, the more I appreciate it. And that beautiful cast, including Burt Lancaster, who Capaldi has scenes with.
Yeah, I'd love to speak to Capaldi about what his memory of that film was, because you've got Burt Lancaster, Fulton Mackay in this movie, and it's such a bizarre casting, but they work brilliantly together. And Burt Lancaster's hilarious in this, and so is Peter Capaldi.
Peter, his character is all over the shop, isn't it? I love the way he goes after the girl. I forget that he's actually walking into the sea. It's absolutely fantastic. But that is a very. I remember seeing that 40 odd years ago in my local cinema, thinking, "Oh, this is what they must be calling an art film." Yeah.
Well, a lot of Bill Forsyth movies are like Gregory's Girl and That Sinking Feeling and Comfort and Joy. Great movies, fantastic stuff.
Of the time as well. I mean, it's so 80s, beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a part of Scotland now that obviously is still around now, but the life has changed, as it were. So it's lovely to see it. I'd love to interview Capaldi about that film as well. There's lots of questions you can talk about. Margie, Peter was the last best Doctor. Here. They didn't respect him during his time on the show. Chris Kaz is saying he has integrity. Funky, Capaldi would have been voted off first on Celebrity Traitors, as everyone would have expected him to be a traitor because of Malcolm Tucker.
And then they showed some clips of, I think either the Laura Koonsberg show was on the one show, and they showed some clips of Malcolm Tucker, and it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, Roz. He likes to keep his cards close to his chest, and his opinions are, well, unlike certain other past doctors, says John Steed. Well, some of them, tying in with this one from Third Doctor Andy, according to Google, Capaldi is a liberal and hates Trump. Anyone know if that's true? Well, actually, yes, because as part of these interviews, Trump inevitably does come up. Yeah. But, and we might be talking about it in a minute, he says, I mean, he's very calm about it, though, and he obviously doesn't approve of Trump, but then again he balances it up by saying, I'm paraphrasing, show me a politician today that is a good role model.
Yeah, exactly.
And you can't, can you? You just can't, because they're all as bad as each other.
Yeah,
you know, they really are. They're as bad as each other. And we were lucky in our day growing up with politicians, whether you liked them or not, they were a role model for you because they knew what was right and what was wrong.
Yeah.
And we grew up through the Thatcher era.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it shaped us when you look at the politicians today. You know, you just think, she wouldn't have tolerated
and look how we turned out.
Yeah. But you know what, Paul? She wouldn't have tolerated anything that's in Britain today.
Exactly. Yeah.
True.
Yeah. Thank you for that, PVFS. Let's carry on with this because we've got a little bit more of this to go, because we've also got this article, which has come from cityam.com. Now, this is Peter Capaldi on the Manosphere, London, and rocking out with his band as he approaches 70. CityAM.com say, from Malcolm Tucker to Doctor Who, Peter Capaldi is one of the finest actors of his generation. And then Steve Deenan speaks to him about masculinity, being a punk, and why he can't get enough of London. Capaldi has just finished a 2-week tour with his band, and he says he's knackered. He does look a bit tired, but then he has one of those faces, world-weary, but with a glint in his eye that suggests he might have been up to no good. That's the Doctor, everybody, he's describing there.
Yeah.
It was his first time playing gigs since he was 19, which is almost 50 years ago, when he was the frontman for Glasgow punk rock outfit The Dream Boys. His tour included dates in Newcastle, Leeds, Manchester, and Edinburgh, ending at London's famous 100 Club. Not bad for a 67-year-old who's been off the circuit for longer than most of his audience have been alive. His most rock and roll moment? Staying up after midnight, because I'm usually in bed by 10 o'clock. He admires the David Byrne print on the wall behind me, saying the Glaswegian singer is one of his biggest influences alongside David Bowie and the Sex Pistols. While he's at pains to impress upon me that the band is not a new career, he admits it's been a lot of fun, especially driving through the night on his tour, thus exchanging war stories with the band. I can see that happening. That's very rock and roll. I love it. Wearing an oversized tan jumper, Capaldi is a natural raconteur, his stretched Glaswegian vowels giving every sentence the cadence of a great revelation. He gesticulates extravagantly to emphasize his points and often sweeps his mane of grey hair up into an Eraserhead quiff. He lives in London, but he's speaking to me from an upmarket hotel in the countryside where he's been filming a new show. He's here to promote Apple TV's British crime drama Criminal Record, written by Paul Ruttman and produced by Capaldi's wife Elaine Collins, which will begin its second season later this month. He plays a detective in the Metropolitan Police whose shady past is dredged up by a young officer played by Cush Jumbo. With its all-star cast and sky-high production values, the show clearly benefits from Apple's deep pockets, but it's refreshingly free of that streaming sheen, instead capturing the squalor and grime of hackney housing estates and grim police stations where you can almost smell the brute aftershave and the cigarette smoke. Capaldi tells me bringing London to life was key to making it work. When I was younger, there was a string of really great London thrillers, including The Long Good Friday and Mona Lisa, both which starred Bob Hoskins. They showed London as a place that was alive. It wasn't just a background. Mona Lisa came out when I first came to London, and it looks exactly the way I remember Soho. I was trying to get a photograph taken recently for the cover of an album I did, and we went to Soho to try and find a scuzzy corner to take some pictures. We couldn't find one. We couldn't even find a seedy doorway. Yeah, the thing with that, as I know, is that they cleaned up Soho in the late 90s or turn of the century. They cleaned it up, and it's all coffee shops and namby-pamby places now. So my Soho, which was deliciously seedy, delicious scene with fabulous clubs and the girls all out wishing us, oh, good night, have a good night, lads. And we're like, oh, thanks, girls. And all that. That is long gone. It's I don't know. Anyway, sad days. Capaldi keeps going. Criminal Record, which Capaldi describes as London noir, was shot on location as much as possible, occasionally leading to brushes with the locals. The great thing in London is that people don't care about you and they get very impatient when you're filming. That's actually a good thing. It keeps your feet on the ground. Given the success of the show, Apple doesn't release viewing figures, but sources say it's been a ratings hit. I wonder if he was always planning to make a second season. If life has taught us anything, says Capaldi, it's that anything can happen. The original idea was for me to die at the end of the first season, but Apple said, no, you can't die. Season 2 pushes further into the themes that permeate the first, exploring how the toxic online manosphere can bleed into real life. The world is so worrying at the moment, says Capaldi, suddenly serious. I'm particularly fretful about the amount of violence against women, which I don't understand. I don't see how men can pursue an idea of masculinity in which they use their strength to hurt women. I don't understand where this has come from. These ideas of strength and masculinity are adolescent. They're not what strength or masculinity really are, which is about care, compassion, and having the strength to choose difficult routes. Violence and aggression are easy. What's he say? He's very worrying at the moment, he says, suddenly serious. Oh, sorry, yes. Blah, 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 blah. But aggression is something Capaldi plays so well, from the pantomime villainy of Tucker to the darkness at the core of Criminal Record's DCI Hegarty. Is he the kind of actor for whom playing these roles takes an emotional toll? That's a good question, actually. No, he says with a vulpine smile, absolutely not. It's a great privilege to be able to play people who are troubled in that way. I never carry that home with me. You'd be forgiven for assuming Capaldi has lived a charmed life. Most actors never land a role that comes to define not only a career, but a moment in time. But Capaldi got two. Blazing onto screens in 2005 in a cloud of expletives, the thick of its terrifying political spin doctor Malcolm Tucker is one of the most memorable characters of his generation, not only reinvigorating British comedy, but creating a new vernacular for real-life politics. The young me would be surprised to hear you say I play intelligent people, because I didn't feel I was that kind of actor. I didn't think I could do Shakespeare or Chekhov. I thought all that was for proper actors. When I was young, I tended to play more geeky, clownish sorts. Then somewhere along the line, something happened. I guess I got older. Life beat me up a bit. Things didn't go the way I expected. That changes you. You have a new layer of stuff to play. It all changed with Tucker. He was such a clever and dark character, but also funny and witty. It changed people's perception of me, but it also changed my concept of my capabilities. I realize as I'm asking my next question that I'm straying from the territory of interviewer into fanboy, but will he ever reprise the character? A final turn for Tucker in a world where politics is madder than ever. There was a period in the UK, says Capaldi, when politics was so terrible that I thought making fun of it wasn't funny. Now I think it's so terrible that we should just throw everything we have at it. But I feel like it's a young man's game. I don't want to be an old bloke with white hair pretending I'm still relevant, running around with young people, although I guess I don't mind standing on stage with my electric guitar. We're speaking a couple of days after the Oscars, and I point out that Paul Thomas Anderson has finally joined Capaldi in the ranks of winners. A little known fact: in 1993, Capaldi picked up the Academy Award for Best Live Short Film for Franz Kafka's It's a Wonderful Life, a comedy he wrote and directed starring Richard E. Grant. Winning the statue means Capaldi gets to vote for the winners each year, although he didn't pick PTA's eventual victor one battle after another, instead going for Train Dreams, an elegiac story about the life of a railway worker in the Pacific Northwest in the early 20th century. I was an art student, he smiles. When you're an art student, you get a free pass. You get to be arty. On that note, does he agree with Timothy Chalamet that opera and ballet are art forms on life support and that someone needs to pull the plug? No, that's just a silly remark, says Capaldi, and it's quite boring. Anyone who has an artistic thing in them, they should be encouraged, and there should be a path of some description to get there. I'm very conscious of the fact there aren't enough working class kids acting today, even fewer than in previous generations. I didn't really know how to get into acting other than I just sort of wanted to be on the telly and thought I'd follow any chink of light that might lead to that. But I feel as if a lot of these doors are closed now. When I speak to young actors, I try to tell them it's about keeping the flame alive, the belief that you can do this. That fire is clearly still alive for Capaldi, approaching the twilight of his career. He's producing some of his best work. He says criminal record could run and run and run so long as people stay interested. And if that means more Capaldi on our screens, I'm here for it. Part of me, though, is holding out hope for a final effing hurrah for Malcolm Tucker. It's a nice interview. It's a good interview. He's very considered again, isn't he? He's always very considered. It's like that interview we talked about from that podcast a few weeks ago. He's very considered in his answers.
Yeah, I watched a lot of the interviews, and I saw the one on the One Show, and Sheridan Smith was on it with him as well. It was quite nice. And they were talking about Doctor Who experiences with fans on it, which was quite nice.
All right.
And she talked about, because you're the audios with Paul McGann and for Big Finish, and she talked about what fandom was like, you know, and so did he. And they talked about, like he said in the article, about, you know, about going to work to watch Daleks being blown up. That's a real fan thing to do, which he's really gushing about Doctor Who. It's just such a shame he's treated so badly. You can feel so sorry for him, you know?
He could have easily, I reckon, have done another 2 years.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But again, Ian, in this interview, he actually sort of touches on what Eccleston's been saying about the whole masculinity thing and about how working class kids don't get the break.
Yeah.
What gets me about this is that's down to the industry that they're in. It's nothing to do with the general public. We're not the ones that are saying, right, okay, this is how this needs to be written, or this is how, or we're not having a say on the casting. So what's going on there? I mean, we've got Eccleston coming out and criticizing. We've got Capaldi gently criticizing it.
Yeah.
Why is nobody in their industry? And why aren't more people doing it, do you reckon?
Well, they're the ones that choose people. They're the ones that cast people. They're the ones that promote people, ideologies and thoughts and opinions, and try and force us to go down and adapt and adopt their groupthink. So yeah, they should be able to affect change from the inside. You know, like that said there, didn't it? That crime drama that he's got now, that's directed by his wife.
Yeah.
So that's quite a power couple there, isn't it? It's a little bit like Moffat and his missus and his mother-in-law as well. That was quite a powerful area, wasn't it? Because Moffat, I know she's passed away now, but Moffat's mother-in-law, she had a heritage going all the way back to Hancock and Spike Milligan and everything, didn't she? And Terry Nation and stuff like that. But when you've got that sort of like concentrated power, they could affect change, or they could influence other people to affect change. So rather than just talking about it, see if you can do something about it and push back. Or is it still that they're still a little bit wary of pushing back in case they still get cancelled? You never know, do you?
There's really a small element of that, but nepotism's always good, I have to say. But these things come in cycles, I think, don't they? Because it happens a lot that you're fashionable for a certain way you are as an actor and blah blah blah. So things come around in cycles. You know, years ago it became the norm for kind of working class actors to become the new thing. You like look back in Anger and the kitchen sink drama, all that kind of stuff. You know, all that sort of stuff. It did become for a time a thing to be, and then it went out of fashion. It happens, you know. But,
I just think he's very eloquent. I think he's very considered. And I think he's actually a lot of the time spot on with what he's saying. I do like the fact I don't know his full political opinion, and I respect that. And thank God I don't, because I possibly wouldn't like him. Just like I've gone off Eccleston, just like I've gone off Tennant, because I am struggling personally to put now that I know where they are politically, to put that aside and just enjoy them as an actor, because I can't. Because they've been so vociferous in what they've been saying, especially Tennant with his nonsense, his old TQ cult bandwagon stuff. Let's see what they're saying in the chat. Martin McNeath is saying to us that Capaldi's role in Children of Earth was amazing. He was brilliant in that. He was very good in that, wasn't he? Funky saying, I remember Capaldi in an episode of Poirot wearing a very Colin Baker style coat. That's something else I've never seen. I've never seen that.
I don't think he's given a bad performance. I really don't. I think he's always good in everything he does. Yeah,
I agree. And again, watching Local Hero this afternoon as well just reminded me there is the young Capaldi just being brilliant, nailing it, absolutely, and not out of place with these big actors around him or established at that point as well. Because there were actors of all sorts of generations in it. It's a great film.
Oh yeah,
as Paul was saying before.
There are 2 Gs and bugger off. Yeah, that's it.
I love that line. Capaldi will always be the last Doctor to me, John Steeds, and for me as well, my friend, to date. Space Peninsula, Capaldi should have no regrets about Doctor Who. As Christopher Lee once said, every actor has to make terrible films from time to time, but the trick is to never be terrible in them. Yeah, and I agree with that, Space Peninsula, and he did that, didn't he? I mean, he was such a class actor that even those crappy whippet dung, as Tom would say, scripts were raised to a level of bearability.
He was always watchable. That was the thing. Yeah.
Yes, and that was because of his talent. He must have gone and looked at this and thought, what the hell have they given me this week? What do I do to improve this? No wonder, you can get exhausted doing all that, Darren Reed, was he? Peter Capaldi was in an episode of Minder a few weeks ago. I didn't know he'd done Minder.
Yes, he did Minder. Yeah, he watched for Arthur Daly. It's quite interesting. I've seen that episode as well.
Did he?
Yeah.
Great role. That's a great role. Stephen O'Neill saying to us that Capaldi was the nearest New Who Doctor to get anywhere near the Hartnell Doctor in the modern era. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
He was brilliant as Danny Olsen, says Anton. Good to see Anton Brannigan. Hope you're well. Lots of love for Capaldi in our chat here as well. I
think he could have been so much better. I don't mean as an actor, because I think he's superb. And I think we're all in agreement on that. I just think he could, we've been here before, but he could have been so better served with scripts and direction and everything else. He did have some absolute dog shit stories. He really did.
Yeah. Well, the Forest of Shite for one.
Yeah, and Kill the Moon. I mean, my God.
Oh, yeah, I've forgotten about that.
Oh, dear God. But it could have been so much better. But that, especially that last year, they were all manoeuvring to get him out, and it was awful.
This will all come out one day in the wash. When the series comes off air, there'll be a little break, and then the books and the interviews will start to come off. I know of at least 2 people associated with the new rebooted version of Doctor Who that are itching to tell their tales in books. And the day will come. CC96, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. This is pretty rock and roll. Capaldi is, though. He had the potential, and I think they should have gone more with his idea of whom the Doctor was, because his Doctor should have been the rock and roll Doctor, not given us stuff. Do you know what I mean? That element of just healthy punk in there for his Doctor. And I think he could have made more, but they didn't want to, did they? He didn't want to. Matt Enspiel saying, I now have something in common with Peter Capaldi. I've also played at the 100 Club over a decade ago. Oh, did you? How fab. So did Rocking Terry Lee. I played the 100 Club years ago. Oh my God, so many talented people in our chat, guys. Honestly. Robert Payne, yes, Cush Jumbo is a name. She's actually quite an established actress now. She was in Doctor Who, wasn't she?
Was she?
Was she?
She did Macbeth with David Tennant. That's why,
And then she went to do, she was in The Good Wife over in America where she made her name, because she left Brenda Blethyn's Vera for that.
Cush Jumbo sounds like something at a restaurant, doesn't it, to be honest?
Yeah, she wasn't in television Doctor Who. She might have been in audio.
She may have been. I don't know.
I don't know. But no. But there we go. But yes, it is a name. Rad Rogue One. Nice to see you. The Doctor is a white man. He's not gay. He's not black. Not a woman. He's not political. Welcome to Who's Views, Rad Rogue One. You're on our wavelength here. You're absolutely right. Absolutely. Funky is saying to us, Soho still has a seedy corner or two. Oh, you'd know, would you? Oh, really? Oh, really, would you? It's not my Soho, though. The one I grew up in the late 90s and the turn of the century, which was inherited from the 60s. I had a fantastic time in Soho, I have to tell you. Loved it. It's not the same now. Used to go from one pub and one sleazy dive and one fabulous club, and you could get all sorts of music going on in Soho as well, all sorts of clubs going on, and you go, and 1 minute you could be doing jazz, the next minute you'd be doing trance, the next minute you'd be doing pop. It was just amazing. It was just wonderful. And then they cleaned it up, so now you don't go from pub to pub, you go from coffee shop to coffee shop to coffee shop to coffee shop to big over expensive restaurant. It's not the same. No. I don't know. Sally Wangenblatt is saying, "Who the heck is Cuss Jumbo?" Yeah, she's actually quite a good actress. I mean, you can look her up. She's probably been in something you've seen by now, I have to say. Yeah, so I don't know. Pete Harrington saying to us, "It's acting. That's the point. It's out of your comfort zone."
Yeah.
And Kev Taylor, funny how much violence to women comes from the trans lobby, isn't it? Just Kev.
Yeah.
Isn't it just? But that's what men are like. They're quite aggressive towards women.
She was in Torchwood.
That's where I would have been then. Yes,
Torchwood, a character called Lois in Children of Earth.
The one that, she was on the fence, and she eventually got hooked up with the mic and everything, didn't she? And she was reporting back to Torchwood eventually. I knew she was something to do with Doctor Who. Yeah, there we go. Thanks for that, Ian. You put my mind at rest there.
It was bugging me as well, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh gosh, so there was an awful lot of that there actually. Oh yes, of course, Chris Cancer pointed out that Capaldi was a love interest in The Vicar of Dibley. Yeah, that was brilliant, that episode. Do you remember that, fellas?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, I've forgotten all about that. I've got that on DVD. That was a great series, that. And she's all dewy-eyed over it, isn't she? She's like, And when he says to her, "Will you marry me?" And she goes, and he actually meets the woman that's waiting outside. "Will you marry me to this woman?" So funny. You can't get away with it today, I'll tell you. Steve O'Neill, Peter Capaldi and Matt Smith never talk about politics and just keep to what they do best, which is acting. And that's why I respect them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because they both have big platforms, and they could if they want to. But Smith seems to understand, as does Capaldi, you could lose an entire fan base who won't come and support your work and won't buy into what you've done, and possibly even too busy. Okay, we had a little dip with Smith a couple of years ago, but he hasn't done anything bad about that, has he? Since then, really. Sally's saying to us, "I'm sorry, but there's been no other Doctors after McGann. That's where the real Doctor Who show ended after the TV movie for me." And you don't have to apologize for that, Sally. That's absolutely fine. Absolutely, all of you welcome here. But thanks, Sal. Hope you're well, darling. And also Sheila B in the devotion saying that Capaldi was great as Robert Wood, the murderer in Shadow of the Noose, 1991. I've not seen it, but I've heard about it. But again, his range is intense, isn't it, Paul?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. He's good at drama and comedy, which is great, you know.
Yeah. He needs to do more comedy, I think. Maybe people are typecasting him in comedy from the thick. Mind you, you're never going to get the thick of it again.
No.
And you're never going to get a comedy again.
Not a proper comedy, no.
Not the comedies we know. Not things that will make you laugh.
Yeah.
You know, I was laughing out loud the other day with the family that at You Rang My Lord.
Oh yeah, we've been watching that as well. It's brilliant. Yeah,
it's fantastic. It's new to me because I never saw it when it was on in the 90s. So it's new to me, and I love the fact that the You Rang My Lord is this comedy with a running theme through it. So it's like a storyline.
Henry's my favorite character, the footman. He's brilliant. Yeah, love Henry.
He's
Yeah,
he's all getting characters smacked. Are great.
Yeah.
But because they're not frightened of anything back then, everything goes, and it's so funny, and that's what we.
There was a dream sequence that shocked me a bit with Michael Knowles, who's dreaming about he's having to go to work. I don't know if you got that one. And there's a bit where Sue Pollard and Jeffrey Holland play Chinese people, which is a bit un-PC, but it's very funny.
Yeah, I can imagine. Thanks for everybody staying there for me. That was Cuss Jumbo, and the Jason Parker was there with us as well. Nice to see you, mate. Raymond's Review Bar, anyone, says Pete Harrington. Yes, I went there several times myself, I have to say. Good stuff. The girls there were absolutely amazing. Gosh, they were great dancers. They could move, those girls. I love them. They really were fabulous. So there we go. Peter Capaldi again, everybody talking some stuff. Kev Gresham saying to me, JT, I'm sorry to go off topic. That's fine. But I made a Guinness cake today. It's a Nigella Lawson recipe. Why does that not surprise me?
Oh, that sounds nice.
It's amazing. It's easy to make and well worth making. I'll take your word for it.
Can you send us a recipe? That'd be great.
Look it up. Thank you for that, Kev. I might have to look into that though. Funky, I have also been watching. Yeah, great show. Go on.
Good for your iron level.
That's why I've got it here because I need it actually on that one. So yeah. But anyway, so that's as I said, that was Peter Capaldi there. Everybody talking about that. It's strange how some of the subject he was talking about there tied in with what Eccleston was saying as well. So again, it's been a very interesting week for headlines from people associated with Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And long may it continue. There's a lot more to come, I am sure. We still don't know what's happening with this alleged Christmas episode for 2026. What are the betting? Is it going to happen? Stay with us here on Who's Views as we progress towards whenever they get filming it. Because that's just absolutely ridiculous now, isn't it? Absolutely ridiculous. God knows where it's going to go. But listen, thank you for joining us as ever, Who viewers. Thanks for being with us for this edition for your big show, Headlines, on the 19th of April, 2026. To Paul and Third Doctor Ian, as usual, great to have you here. Thank you so much for everything tonight.
Thank you. Enjoyed it very much. Yeah.
Very fun.
Oh, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you're not new to the channel, please make sure you are still subscribed. Give us a thumbs up after the show, and you can also give us a hype as well. You can share it wherever you like to as well. And of course, you can leave comments or get in touch with us at whosviews1@gmail.com. As ever, thank you for everybody that sends me stories. Don't assume I've seen things. Please do keep sending them. If I've seen them, it doesn't matter. But sometimes I might miss things. So keep sending the stories thinking this might be good for headlines. And thank you to everybody that does that, because I do literally get loads of emails a week, guys. It's fantastic. In the meantime, from Paul, Third Doctor, Ian, and myself, until we see you again here on the channel, take care of yourselves. Ta-ra.
Bye, everyone. Ta-ta.
Bye.
Oh, you'll be delighted and somewhat surprised to know that you can now own Who's Views merchandise. Yes, a range of mugs, t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, cuddly toys, a cheer please, and other goodies, all putting official Doctor Who merchandise to shame. It's now available from the Who's Views shop. You can find it on the store tab on the channel or by scanning that squiggly thing there.